Welcome everyone to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for live coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Today the Red Sox take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. Delighted to have you with us as the Red Sox and Phillies make up a game that was rained out here in Philadelphia in mid-June. The Red Sox trying to bounce back after a very disappointing weekend against the New York Yankees that got off to a great start as the Red Sox beat New York on Friday night, but then 2 straight losses, and as a result the Red Sox lost 1 game in the American League East standings to the Yankees over the weekend. The Red Sox now 5.5 games out with 26 remaining. They do have 3 left with New York head-to-head, but as a result of the weekend, perhaps the focus returns more clearly to the wild card race where the Red Sox are a game and a half behind the Seattle Mariners. I'm joined as always by Jerry Remy, and Jerry, this is a tough road trip for the Red Sox about which they're about to embark.
It really is, and of course you start here in Philadelphia where the last time the Red Sox were here they lost 2 of the 3 ball games plus one of them canceled, and Brett Myers, who is pitching today, is one of the guys that beat the Red Sox in that series here at Philly. Off to Chicago for another 2-game series. Right now they are 2-2 on the season. Back to Yankee Stadium because the Yankees have the lead after this past weekend, 9-7 on the year. And those Baltimore Orioles, everybody thinks that's going to be a pushover for the Red Sox. Hasn't been the case. 7-5 on the year. The Orioles have the lead. So as we enter the month of September, things are getting very, very close. And the Red Sox, who have played much better at Fenway, have to pick it up on the road.
And the Red Sox once again today without Manny Ramirez in their starting lineup. The starting pitchers are brought to you by Honda. Experience the stylish all-new 2003 Honda Accord now at your Honda dealer. It will be Jeff Suppan on the mound for the Red Sox. He'll be opposed by Brett Myers looking for his 13th win of the year. An overcast and muggy day in Philadelphia with a chance of rain in the forecast here today. And a sellout crowd will be on hand inside the vet. First pitch in a moment. Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By your New England Toyota dealer, get the feeling. And by Southwest Airlines, more than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia in its last year of existence. The Phillies will move into a new home next season, just down the block, but a big crowd packed into this. What's a nice way of phrasing it, Jerry?
The circle.
This circle. Yeah, it's not the world's greatest ballpark. They'll be happy to have a new park, but they have been selling standing room tickets for this game where you could have a crowd in the vicinity of 60,000 on Labor Day, what was originally scheduled to be an off day for both the Red Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies. Instead, they will be laboring on Labor Day in an important game for both teams. We showed you the Red Sox situation in the playoff chase in the American League, and as the Phillies take the field, they're in that incredible battle in the National League wildcard race. They begin the day tied with the Florida Marlins for the lead in the National League wildcard race. But as you see, Los Angeles, Houston, Arizona, Montreal, and Chicago all within 3.5 games. So these are important days for both the Red Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies. The starting lineups are brought to you by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. The Red Sox do have Johnny Damon back in the starting lineup. He's in center field, still a little bit bruised after his collision with Gabe Kapler a couple of days ago. Todd Walker, the second baseman. Nomar Garcia-Parra at shortstop. David Ortiz will be the cleanup hitter today with Manny Ramirez again not in the lineup. Ortiz at first base. Kevin Millar in left field. Trot Nixon, the right fielder, will bat 6th. Then Bill Miller at third base. Jason Varitek catching, and Jeff Suppan, the starting pitcher, will hit 9th in the National League park.
The Phillies are a pretty good defensive ball club. They're 4th in the National League. They've made 76 errors on the season. Tomas Perez will be the third baseman. Jimmy Rollins the shortstop. Chase Utley at second, and Jim Thome at first. Left to right, Pat Burrell, Marlon Byrd, and Bobby Abreu. Mike Lieberthal doing the catching. See Lieberthal with 1 Gold Glove to his credit. And on the mound, right-hander Brett Myers. This will be start number 28. He is 12-7 on the season. In his last 14 starts, he is 7-1 and very tough here at home. A 2.95 ERA here at the vet. He is 1-0 this year against the Red Sox with 9 innings in a 5-0 Phillies win, only allowing 3 hits and no runs. Young Kim was the opposing pitcher in that ball game.
And that was one of the best games of the year pitched against the Red Sox back in mid-June. And his first pitch today, a fastball on the outside corner, strike one to Johnny Damon. 76 degrees and very humid at game time. Myers just missed. First pitch at 107. 276 for Damon, 11 homers, 54 runs batted in. Myers continuing to try to hit that spot on the outside corner. He missed again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fred Myers just 23 years old, and he just turned 23 on August 17th. And he has an excellent repertoire of pitches. Joe Kerrigan, their pitching coach, raving about this young man before the game today.
Very good changeup. You see the opponent's only hitting 194 against his changeup.
And he walks Damon on 5 pitches. Saw on the graphic the hard curve. Joe Kerrigan described it as a power curve. And he thinks Myers has the stuff to be a #1 starter at some point in his career.
Well, look, the first game he pitched against the Red Sox, Sean, is any indication. There's a pretty good chance of that happening.
But it could be sooner rather than later.
Now we'll see with the Red Sox if they'll take advantage of a Philadelphia team that, like when Kerrigan was with the Red Sox, did not pay much attention to the running game. Catchers have had a very difficult time throwing out runners. They don't use the slide step.
Todd Walker, the hitter. Myers having a tough time throwing strikes. And Walker looked at ball 1. 273 for Todd. 10 homers and 69 runs driven in. Todd was 2 for 8 in the series against the Yankees over the weekend. Myers throwing it everywhere right now. He's thrown just 1 strike in 7 pitches. 2-0 the count on Walker.
Yeah, it may not be a bad idea to give Walker the take sign here. Make him throw a strike.
6 straight balls thrown by Myers. Make it 7. And the fans already getting a little bit restless. Wow. Ball 4, and here comes Joe Kerrigan. Kerrigan and Brett Myers had a clash on the Phillies' recent road trip, which ended yesterday. It was a very interesting trip. They had a 13-game road trip. Started disastrously, but they won their last 3 over the weekend at Shea Stadium against the Mets to finish at 4-9. Heading into that series, they were 1-9 on the trip. And everything came to a head up in Montreal when Larry Bowa threw a temper tantrum after a game, and Kerrigan and Brett Myers had to be separated in their clubhouse. Kerrigan complaining that the pitchers, particularly Myers, had not been following the scouting reports and game plans that he had been preparing. And they've been out there pretty much doing their own thing. Swing and a miss. I know Nomar always goes after the first one, but he's surprised after all those balls in a row he'd swing at a breaking ball low and away on the first pitch.
I am surprised, Sean. You know, you watch the first 2 guys walk, and this guy is trying to get himself into trouble in this inning. If he wants to let himself get in trouble, let him do it.
Chopped down to third. Tomas Perez steps in the back, throws to first, a double play. Well, despite the control trouble, Nomar up there hacking, and all of a sudden Myers leading at 2 outs and now only a runner at second base.
Back-to-back curveballs. That's the one you were talking about, Sean. The power curveball, as Kerrigan calls it, and it just leads Perez right to the third base bag. Quickly tags it across the diamond to pick up the double play. So after back-to-back walks, a huge break right there for Myers.
Here's David Ortiz with now just Walker at second base. Damon erased as the runner heading into third. Ortiz looked at a ball low. .288 for David, 23 homers and 78 runs batted in. He had a memorable homestand. He had 7 home runs and drove in 15, scored 12 runs in the 12 games. The Red Sox went 7-5, and it was certainly an up and down homestand. Lost the first 2 to Oakland, came back, won the last game of that series, then swept Seattle, split 2 with Toronto, won the first game against New York. Looked like a great chance to gain ground in the American League East, and then lost the last 2. It started and ended poorly for the Red Sox on the homestand at Fenway Park.
You know, one thing you brought up, Sean, about Joe Kerrigan, and he is better prepared than any pitching coach that I know as far as attacking the opposition. Even Grady Little made those comments after the last time they played here. He says one thing about Kerrigan, he has a plan, and he tries to get those guys to execute it. He knows how to set up hitters.
Fastball miss. Well, Kerrigan wondered aloud, why am I spending 6 hours a day breaking down tape and going through all these scouting reports if the pitchers aren't going to use them? And it wasn't only Myers with whom he was frustrated. Foul tip. But the reality is the Phillies have pitched very well this year. Fourth in the National League in team ERA.
It's been interesting. You know, they've dropped a little bit in the second half. The offense has kind of come up a little in the second half.
Payoff pitch to Ortiz. Backdoor breaking ball miss. So he's walked 3 of the first 4 batters with the double play mixed in. First and second, 2 outs, no score here in the top of the first. The Phillies won the 2 games that they managed to get in around the raindrops here in mid-June at the vet. So if they win today, they would sweep the 3-game interleague series from the Red Sox. Kevin Millar, the hitter, in left field today without Manny in the lineup. Ball 1, says home plate umpire Tim Cheetah.
13 balls so far in this inning, only 5 strikes, but he does have the 2 outs.
And I'm not sure either of the pitches Nomar swung at would have been strikes. Certainly the first one would not have been. There's a strike, borderline pitch. Myers from Jacksonville, Florida, the Phillies' first-round pick in the June 1999 draft. He was the 12th player taken in the draft, so he moved very quickly to the major leagues, made it to the big leagues last year. This is his first full season in the majors. Millard chopped one wide of third. Now he's 1 strike away from getting out of the first inning unscathed, even with the 3 walks. Walker at second, Ortiz at first. And the 1-2 to Millar is hit to short. An easy play for Rollins as he fed up later in the inning. After a half inning, the Red Sox nothing, and the Phillies coming up. No score after a half inning. The Phillies getting ready to come to bat against Jeff Suppan. Their lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They have Marlon Byrd, the center fielder, leading off. Jimmy Rollins at shortstop. Bobby Abreu in right field. Mike Lieberthal catching. Jim Thome at first. Pat Burrell, the left fielder. Chase Utley at second base. Tomas Perez, the third baseman. And the pitcher, Brett Myers, will bat 9th. Against Jeff Suppan, who's ready to go. And his first pitch to Bird is fouled straight back.
Suppan 1-1 on the season. That win coming in his last start against Seattle. The last outing for Suppan was out of the bullpen against the Blue Jays. He worked 3 2/3 inning in that game. 1-0 this year against Philadelphia with a 1.50 ERA. 6 innings, 1 earned run.
He spoiled the Phillies' home opener with that outing while pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bird pops it up in shallow center, a long run for everyone, and neither Damon nor Walker could catch it. A blip hit for Bird.
We'll take a look at the defense now for the Red Sox. It'll be Bill Miller at third base, Nomar on the shortstop, Todd Walker Snyder at second and David Ortiz at first. Left to right, Kevin Millar, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Veritek doing the catching.
The umpires are Tim Cheetah behind the plate with Mike Fichter at first, Alfonso Marquez at second, and Jeff Nelson has the plays at third. Jimmy Rollins, the hitter. And he takes a strike. 263 for Rollins, 6 homers, 47 runs batted in. He's a switch hitter, hitting 266 left-handed.
Come on, Jimmy, pump one to left center, buddy.
He was 2 for 10 against the Red Sox in that 2-game set here in mid-June. And he's hit just 197 in interleague play this year. And he's in the hole with Suppan 0-2.
Red Sox defense, especially in the outfield, shading him to the opposite field with Kevin Millar very shallow out there in left field. You see Damon to the left field side of second base, and Millar very shallow in left.
The 0-2 pitch. A hanger, he lines it in the center, a base hit. 0-2 mistake by Suppan, and the Phillies have the first 2 men on here in the first inning.
Well, it was walks to the Red Sox to start the ball game. It's base hits by the Phillies. The Bloop base hit. And now you're right, Sean. The 0-2 curveball is away, but Jimmy Rollins reaches across the plate and dumps it into center field for the base hit.
Now Bobby Abreu, he terrorized the Red Sox in that 2-game series here in Philadelphia in mid-June. Went 4 for 7 with 2 homers. Drove his 19 homers for the year. He's driven in 88 runs and is hitting 298. He takes a fastball for strike 1. He's their team leader in rather second on their team in runs batted in behind Tomey's 101.
Come on, Bobby. Slap one down the third base line,
He's at 337 here at the Vet this year. Fastball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Interesting first half of the season for the Phillies. They had all kind of problems offensively. It was really their pitching that was keeping them in contention. The second half, the offense has certainly improved.
That's a well-struck ball, but Damon is there to make the catch. That's the hardest contact that's been made against Suppan here in the inning, and it's the first out.
Jeff Suppan across with the cross-seam fastball, also sinks the fastball, the 12-6 curveball, a slider, and a changeup. And of course, we know that Suppan has to be one of those guys that has to work the corners to be effective. But Sean, that was a bad base running play at second base by Bird. I mean, that ball you knew was going to be caught, and if he tags up at second, he could easily get to third base on that line drive. He was playing it halfway, now he's stuck at second base.
Certainly as deep as that ball was, and with Damon's throwing arm not particularly strong, with his decent speed, he easily would have advanced to third. Mike Lieberthal takes a strike. He's hitting 320, 8 homers, 57 runs batted in. Lieberthal is 8th in the National League in batting average. Good changeup, and Lieberthal out ahead of it. He's looking for his first hit of the year against the Red Sox. He was 0 for 6 in those 2 games in June. That was an ugly weekend here for the Red Sox, Jerry. Torrential rains wiped out the Friday night game, and then the very tough 6-5 13-inning loss on Saturday, and Brett Meyer shut him out in the series finale on the Sunday.
We were flying in here this morning and coming through the cloud cover. We were wondering if we were going to play today. Rain is in the forecast for Philadelphia later on this afternoon.
We did have some rain here last night and this morning. Tarp was on the field. Neither team took batting practice. The 0-2 to Lieberthal, up and away. The Red Sox flew here to Philadelphia this morning. That's highly unusual. Most of the time Major League Baseball teams travel. They'll leave right after the last game of the homestand and head out. But with this being a makeup game, one of the conditions for the players to give up their off day and come here to Philadelphia, they had asked if they could travel this morning and spend last night at home with their families. The Red Sox left Fenway Park at about 7:45 this morning, flew here to Philadelphia to play today's game. They'll leave the plane right at the airport here in Philly and didn't bother unpacking any bags. They'll just head back to the airport after the game and fly on to Chicago.
Yeah, we landed here about, I'd say 10 of 10 and got to the ballpark sometime about 10:20.
Not a very long drive from the Philadelphia airport to the vet. The 1-2 to Lieberthal, slashed out of play to the right. Some of the Red Sox players were sent ahead and didn't even make the trip to Philadelphia. Pedro Martinez, Casey Fossum, already on their way to Chicago. Todd Jones, who will come back up from the minors, also on his way to Chicago. Some of the September call-ups are here. Brandon Lyon is here. Bill Hasselman has reported for duty. The Red Sox now have a third catcher. Lieberthal fouling away some tough pitches.
Interesting to see a cleanup hitter in the lineup with only 8 home runs. Lieberthal, 57 runs batted in. Jim Thome follows him. Jim Thome having another huge season.
He has been a great addition for the Phillies, both in the lineup and in the clubhouse. This is a team that has had some issues, as we discussed a moment ago. Even though Thome is in his first year here, he has become very much a veteran presence and leader in their clubhouse.
Come on, Michael, left center field, buddy, one time.
Here's the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Lieberthal, and he strikes out. Chased the fastball up and out of the strike zone. First strikeout for Suppan, and the second out of the first inning.
And we can see clearly there that Veritek wanted. He will go up in the crowd too. He wants the high fastball, and that's exactly what he gets. And Lieberthal, not an easy guy to strike out. That's only the 50th time this season he has punched out.
Now Thome hitting .266, 37 homers and 101 runs batted in. He's tied for second in the National League in home runs with Albert Pujols, only 3 behind the league leader Barry Bonds. He had 2 home runs in the 2 games against the Red Sox in June. Went 4 for 9 in the series. Questions raised about why the Red Sox even bothered to pitch to Thome a couple of times in that series. Suppan pitching very carefully to him. 2-0. There are the home run numbers. With his 101 runs batted in, he's tied for 6th in the National League. He's been a hot hitter. He's hit in 13 of his last 16 at .333. And it looks like Suppan is pitching around him with runners at first and second and 2 outs.
And you better make a quality pitch here on the 3-0 count, because I'm quite sure Thome will have the green light.
Thome walks a lot. 1,091 career walks. 9 for 35 in his career against Suppan with 2 homers. And he walks again. 1,092 career walks. He's 64th baseball history, 10th among active players. So the bases are loaded. A lot of base runners here in the first inning for each side. Neither team has scored yet. Here's Pat Burrell. He's had a disastrous season after signing a big contract here. He's hitting just .204, 20 homers, 56 runs batted in. He went 0 for 8 in the series against the Red Sox. Ball one low and away. .298 career hitter with the bases loaded. 4 career grand slams for Burrell. And up the middle, a base hit. Bird has scored. Rollins is right behind, and the Phillies lead 2-0.
Season, obviously, but the fans have always stayed behind him in Philadelphia. He gets a base hit here on the slide. A big 2-out base hit to drive in 2 runs and give the Phillies the lead. You know, usually in Philadelphia, when a big star is having a bad year, they're all over him. It really hasn't been the case with Pat Burrell. They've been very supportive of him even through the difficult times.
2 runs in. Here's the 7th batter of the first inning. Chase Utley, and he takes the ball low and away. .231 for Utley. He came up from their AAA club in Scranton on August 14th. He was having a big year in Scranton. He was hitting .323 with 18 homers. When he got called up, he hits it up the middle. Garcia Parra flips to Walker. They force Burrell to end the inning. But the Phillies get 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk, and after 1 they lead 2-0. The league leaders are brought to you by GM, General Motors. Carlos Delgado, the league leader in runs batted in, and comfortably so at the moment. Garrett Anderson has moved into second. Brett Boone and Vernon Wells tied with 103, and Alex Rodriguez with an even 100. League leaders brought to you by General Motors. 2-0 Phillies after an inning. Brett Myers with strike 1 to Trot Nixon. Nixon, Miller, and Veritek coming up. Trot's hitting .307. 24 homers and 78 runs driven in. After a brief downturn, Trot picked it back up. He's at .324 over his last 10 games. He had a good series against the Yankees, 4 for 10. He's in the hole here with Myers. 0-2. Myers walked 3 men in the first inning. Red Sox could not capitalize. Pulled foul. One of the things that has really helped the Phillies this year, in talking with Joe Kerrigan before the game, is the stability in their pitching staff. They've had very few injuries. For the most part, they've gone with the same starting rotation and the same relief corps for the entire year. It's easier for a staff to get in a flow and stay in a flow if you're working with the same people in the same roles throughout. It wasn't always that way when Joe was with the Red Sox. He was talking about the years they made the playoffs when you have 25 pitchers, and a couple of those seasons they had 12 or 13 different pitchers start games for them. A pop up behind third, handled by Tomas Perez for the first out of the inning.
Well, there is some other afternoon action in the American League, and the Yankees are off first against Toronto. They have a 1-0 lead in the second inning. The Yankees going north of the border to open up a series against the Blue Jays.
Now, was it Labor Day in Canada too?
I don't think so, no. In fact, I think the Yankees have tomorrow off. It's some crazy schedule they have. They play today, tomorrow off, and then pick up the series again against the Blue Jays. I wouldn't book me on that, but I think that's what's going on up there.
Really?
Yeah.
We can confirm that. You want to stand by that? It is the case.
It is the case, yeah.
In the truck, they know everything. Bill Miller, the league's leading hitter. It is now a very tight race for the American League batting title. Miller with a 2-point lead over Garrett Anderson, and Nomar very much alive in his quest for another batting title. You also have Derek Jeter at 322, Milton Bradley, Magglio Ordonez at 321, Ichiro, who's dropping like a rock, at 320, Manny Ramirez at 317. There are a lot of players still very much with a shot at the American League batting crown.
I think Ichiro's fatigued. They gave him a day off when he was playing that series in Boston.
The 0-2 to Miller. Breaking ball that slipped out of the hand of Brett Myers. Miller's been, like almost all the Red Sox, a much better hitter at Fenway than on the road. He skies that to left. A routine fly for Pat Pearl. 2 out.
Well, whatever Joe Kerrigan had to say to Brett Myers after that meeting in the first inning, he's been very good since that time. Now he's all over the strike zone with his pitches. Couple of quick outs here in the second inning. 3 walks in the first inning, and the Red Sox cannot score. And now Myers looks like he's getting into his rhythm.
2-0 Phillies here in the second. 2 outs. The bases are empty for Jason Varitek, hitting .277. 22 homers and 79 runs driven in. And he takes the ball low. And the changeup for a strike. Out of play to the left.
As we drove into the ballpark this morning from the airport, across right next door is the brand new football stadium and the new baseball stadium that they're hoping will be ready for the start of next season.
And they believe that it will be. Varitek lined the breaking ball in a right. Abreu over to cut it off. So the Red Sox have their first hit, a 2-out single from Varitek here in the second inning.
It always irritates pitchers in the National League when that number 8 guy with 2 outs gets a base hit, because they would love to have Suppan, the pitcher, leading off next inning. Curve ball with a couple of strikes on Jason. That ball down and in, and Varitek with the line drive for the 2-out hit.
Now Suppan batting. He went after the first and chopped it short. Rollins 20 to end the afternoon and a half. 2-0 Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, the Phillies have the 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. We'll close out the season in a great selection of Major League Baseball authentic caps, home and road jerseys, and everything else you need to enjoy the game. Shop RedSox.com for all things baseball.
People dressed in Red Sox apparel here today. Jeff Suppan labored through a 25-pitch first inning. Gave up 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk. He struck out 1. Tomas Perez drives one to the right side in the first pitch at the bottom of the second.
Tomas Perez with the base hit on the first pitch from Jeff Suppan. That sinking fastball away. He still hooks it into the hole between first and second. And now with Myers at the plate, he'll be called upon to sacrifice and get Perez to second base.
111 for Myers. He sacrificed 3 times this year. Gets that one down very well. Suppan the top walk recovering. It's a sacrifice. 1-4 to play on Myers. Perez in scoring position now with 1 out.
Yeah, it's interesting, Sean, doing these interleague games is, you know, the pitches seriously. I mean, they practice this all the time, getting the job done with the bunt. It seems like when American League pitchers get it done or get a base hit, it's like a big joke, but it's very serious to these guys. I mean, it helps them stay in the game for an extended period of time. They work hard on that stuff.
One of the reasons I don't like interleague play.
Yep, exactly right.
Come on, Marlon.
Marlon Byrd, the batter. He takes a strike. Byrd single leading off the first. Little bloop hit to center field. He scored their first run.
Come on.
Phillies are 8-6 in interleague play. Byrd, a major reason why they have a winning record. He is at 372 in interleague play this year. Check swing, no swings with Mike Victor. The Phillies played the Mariners, A's, and Angels out of the American League West this year. This was the first season that the National League East faced the AL West. They did not play Texas. They went 3-6 against the American League West. Not in time. Walker just did snare them in his glove. Snow cone catch. You can see the ball wobbling around at the top of his glove as he took in a well-struck ball from Marlon Byrd.
Saved the run by making this play. You see he's playing close to second base to hold on that run. And now you see the white of the baseball in the glove right there. Then he spins around. It's a race to the bag, but Perez able to get back in at second base. Nice play by Todd Walker.
Everybody hit. Woohoo! Bring him up, Jimmy.
It's still Perez at second. With 2 outs here in the second. The Phillies leading 2-0 in a ball low to Jimmy Rollins. He singled to center and scored their second run last inning.
Jimmy Rollins. This is not the same offense we saw the first time around, Sean. This is much, much better. Actually, you didn't get a chance to see him. You got rained out here.
Got rained out. Saw him on TV, though.
I did see one game.
Bobby Abreu looked at ball one. He lined to center. Last inning. Well, really, their turnaround offensively started about a week before the Red Sox came. Since June 13th, when the Phillies were hitting just .246 for the year as a team, they've hit .273 since. They lead the National League in walks. They're averaging 4 walks per game. And it's line to left, and Millar the catch. That ends the inning. They hit the ball hard again against Suppan in the second. Rollins a homer, and Philadelphia leads 4-0 after 2.
We're counting down the final days of the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive. From now until September 2nd, zero in on these special countdown offers. Nothing down, no payments until 2004, no interest financing on select vehicles or cash allowances up to $4,000. And no extra charge oil, lube, and filter changes for up to 7 years. Plus, get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So zero in on the savings at the Summer Sales Drive Countdown. Hurry to your Chrysler dealer before September 2nd for the best values in America.
I'm an electrician, a carpenter, a toilet handle jiggler. I'm a homeowner, a Put a lot of hard work into it. Now I want my home to work for me. So I'm calling 1-800-CHAMPION for a home equity loan at today's low rates. Champion Mortgage works with you one-on-one to find the perfect loan. I'll make home improvements, pay off credit cards, hire a professional plumber.
Rates as low as 4%. Get started in just 10 minutes. Call 1-800-CHAMPION today for your free consultation. Champion says yes.
Try a delicious breakfast sandwich on a freshly baked bagel from Dunkin' Donuts. It's just the thing you've been waiting for. Stop by today for any one of our delicious breakfast sandwiches, including the new sourdough bagel sandwich for just $1.99. Just the thing.
Look again at Ford Explorer and you'll find a special program on the best-selling SUV on the planet with a standard V6 engine, independent rear suspension, and now, for a limited time, get a no-charge power moonroof and a no-charge third-row seat. Get Ford Explorer with 0% financing and $1,000 bonus cash, or get $2,500 cash back and $1,000 bonus cash. Plus, you'll save over $1,400 in no-charge options. Look again at your New England Ford dealer. Program ends July 9th. You haven't looked at Ford lately. Come on and look again.
Friends, time is running out to cast your ballot for UPN 38's 10th Player Award presented by Bob Stores. Visit any of the Bob Stores to vote for the Red Sox player who has performed beyond expectations. You can win a new motorcycle from Boston Harley-Davidson Buell at Everett. Vote at Bob Stores or online at UPN38.com before the deadline, Monday, September 8th. That's 1 week from today at 5 p.m. Vote at Bob Stores or at UPN38.com. Brett Myers threw ball 1 to Johnny Damon. And now ball 2. Damon walked 1 of the 3 in the first inning, thrown by Myers, who had much better control last inning. This looks like a replay of the first inning. Manny Ramirez is here with the team today in uniform in the dugout, but not in the starting lineup for the 4th straight day. A strike.
You mentioned things turning around last inning for Myers. He 4 balls last inning along with 12 strikes, a complete flip-flop from that first inning.
And he threw 13 balls in the first inning and only 8 strikes. He walks Damon for the second time today. The 4th walk yielded by Brett Myers. The Red Sox have the lead now on for the second time in 3 innings.
That Manny thing is kind of spinning out of control right now. It's hard to judge what's really going on. You know, when he was on the plane this morning, I kind of expected him to be in the lineup. And I think maybe Manny was too, because I went into Grady Little and I said, "Is Manny playing any?" And he gave me a very, quick, like, no,
terse.
Yeah, that's how you put it, Sean.
Oh, and it's hard to really know what is going on because nobody is really speaking on the record. Manny, when approached by the media today, said he didn't want to talk. And, of course, this is in the wake of reports that have surfaced in the last day. Walker takes a strike. That Manny was spotted in a hotel bar Saturday night. Now, our understanding is Manny doesn't drink, but just the fact that he was out socializing, apparently, reportedly, and then not able to play, obviously doesn't sit well with the number of people. Damon runs, never falls through, not in time, and Johnny has a stolen base, his 25th of the year.
Well, again, that's kind of a theory of Joe Kerrigan. He doesn't worry much about the stolen base. He has his pitches use the full leg kick. He does not like the slide step, and Johnny Damon there can take advantage of that to pick up the steal, even down by 4 runs.
He's in scoring position with nobody out in the 3rd. Brett Myers in a 1-2 count with Walker. Todd chops 1 foul.
We hear comments that the Red Sox front office is not happy with the results of the last couple of days with Manny, but yet in the newspaper articles I read this morning, and I didn't see all of them, but I didn't see any comments made by any of the...
Again, there were terse no comments, apparently, according to the way it was written. Larry Lucchino, Theo Epstein, and members of the Red Sox public relations staff all declining comment. Part of it might be they don't know exactly what the situation is if Manny was, in fact, out on the town Saturday night when he was unable to play all weekend.
The only thing I do know is for the last couple of games, because I was here waiting for the lineup, Grady had 2 different lineups made out every day, one with Manny in it and one without. And he actually waited till after batting practice on those couple of occasions to finally give out the lineup, and obviously they did not include Ramirez. It's almost like he was expecting him to show up and say, okay, I'm ready to go. But that did not happen.
Walker nubs one foul.
And he was in fine spirits at about 7:30 this morning when the club gathered to take off for this little trip to Philadelphia.
And here's a team, though, fighting for its life in the playoff race with 26 games left. If the season ended today, the Red Sox would not be in the playoffs. Outside. Of course, he lives in the hotel in which he apparently was spotted in the hotel bar. But in our city, as you know, Jerry, people are going to see you and they're going to notice. And it just would seem to project a bad image to be out when you aren't able to play against the team you're trying to catch for first place and your arch rival. Base hit a walk to the left. And that also came on the heels of revelations that in an interview with ESPN before the Sunday night game with Joe Morgan, excerpts of which did not air on the telecast but were available apparently on websites, Manny indicated always been his dream to play for the Yankees and that someday he hopes he still might. Now, of course, I don't think that factors into this weekend. I don't think that's why he was not in the lineup. You have to believe he was sick, but it's just one more part of it that isn't going to sit well with people.
That part of it I don't find too concerning because I think we all, as Major League players, would like to play in our hometown. And I think we've all said the same thing. And I don't know how how that came out. To my knowledge, Manny enjoys playing here. Plus, New York is his home.
Garcia-Parra after the first one again. That's a fair ball. The throw across the diamond. Played well by Tony on a hop. Damon scores the first run of the day for the Red Sox. Tomas Perez, a nice play from behind the bag to get Garcia-Parra, who does pick up a run batted in.
Tell you what, Sean, there's not many American League third basemen are going to get Nomar Garcia-Parra on a play like that. Barehanded in foul territory, and the one hop on this artificial surface to Jim Thome to get the out. That's a terrific play by Tomas Perez.
First out of the inning, Ortiz up there swinging at the first pitch, and he fouls one back. He walked in the first inning.
Well, I hope very shortly and within the next day that there is some kind of statement on this thing. Get it wrapped up, clear it up, whatever it may be, and have it become an old story. Somebody's got to talk.
Ortiz hits it sharply on the ground past Perez, who could not get it with the dive. The Red Sox battling back here in the third. They get the tying run to the plate now. Runners at first and third and one out.
Been a strange outing so far for Myers. Big time trouble with control in the first inning. Just about unhittable in the second inning. And now the Red Sox picking up a couple of hits after a walk. Ortiz again using the opposite field on the breaking ball. That stayed away. Once again, Joe Kerrigan out to the mound. Joe's not bashful. Joe will make some trips to the mound.
I would disagree a little bit with what you said at the end there about Manny and the thing with the Yankees and why he played for them. I don't think it has any effect on what happened over this weekend in terms of the availability to play. But when your current employer is paying you $20 million a year,
I agree with that.
And you talk about, geez, you almost indicate I'd rather be playing for somebody else who happens to be your arch rival. Or I hope someday I can. I can understand why that wouldn't sit well with some folks. Even if you feel it, it's not a smart thing to say.
No, that part I certainly agree with you. But you know, we've all said, you know, I remember being with the Angels, and I wanted to play only one place, right here in Boston. Of course, I wasn't making $20 million a year.
Ball inside. Phillies lead 4-1. Millar makes it 4-2. A ringing line drive to the left. That brings in Walker from third. Strange outing indeed for Myers. And the Red Sox have 3 hits and a Myers walk in this inning.
Bad changeup here. This pitch stays up in the zone, up and in. And Kevin Millar hooks it between third and shortstop for the base hit. Drives in the run. The Red Sox right back in the ballgame.
9 hits already in this game. 5 for the Phillies, 4 for the Red Sox. Nixon the go-ahead run at the plate, and he takes the ball low and away. Trot popped up with third baseman Perez along the left field line in the second inning, last inning. Three-quarters swing and a foul ball. Over by the Red Sox dugout. And it's a row or two back into the box seat.
Some of the strangest seats you see are right around that dugout area where they actually face toward the outfield and not toward home plate. This section right here.
And I believe they're movable. Those aren't welded into the concrete. The 1-2 to Nixon. Miss. And when they implode this place, there are going to be a few members of the rodent population that are going to be driven from their homes. 3-2 the count.
I must admit, though, it's the first time that I have seen it with this large a crowd, and it's pretty impressive. That upper deck. It had to be a great place for a football game.
Yeah. So the field surface considered to be the worst in the NFL. Nixon left one toward the right field corner. That will go all the way to the 330 mark. Ortiz around the storm. Millar will be held at third by Mike Cubbage. It's a double for Nixon. And the Red Sox will then one run at 4-3. With the tying run now at third and the go-ahead run at second, and still only one out here in the third inning.
Well, he's got hit this inning on every one of his pitches. His fastball, his curveball to Ortiz, a changeup to Millar, now a curveball again to Trot Nixon all the way down in that gap at the 330 down in the corner. And by the time Abreu digs it out, the Red Sox have one more run. He actually got over there pretty quickly, and that held Millar at third base.
3 straight hits, 4 hits in the inning for the Red Sox after the leadoff walk to Damon. The only out made on a ground out. Infield back, outfield around toward left for Bill Miller. There was a lot of hitting room in right center field. He'll fly to left last inning. First pitch fouled away. There is action now in the Philadelphia bullpen. Carlos Silva The right-hander warming up. Miller at the plate. Jason Varitek on deck. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Phillies. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Red Sox.
That's what the Yankees did to Miller over the weekend. They threw him a lot of high fastballs. And Miller chased another pitch that was up and out of the strike zone there.
And if he continues to swing at them, they are probably going to continue to throw him.
And keep firing him up there if he doesn't lay off him.
The 0-2 from Myers. He laid off that one. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning from Brett Myers. Get on the ground down to first. Tomey waves Myers away, makes the play himself, but the Red Sox have tied the game. And Millar is in from third. Make it 4-4. And Bill Miller has another RBI, his 74th of the year.
Across all this career highs for Bill Miller with 17 home runs, 74 runs batted in, and the Red Sox get this baby tied up. Looked like it was going to be a long afternoon.
Didn't start out well when you get 3 walks in the first inning and do not score. They come right back and get a 2-out hit to get 2 runs, get 2 more in the second. And Myers has been wobbly here in the third. They're going to intentionally walk Jason Varitek to pitch to Jeff Suppan, who will be the 9th batter of the inning. And I would think now that they're back in the game, Jerry, that Grady Little would have a very short leash with Jeff Suppan, who has not been very effective here in the first couple of innings. That was the 5th walk given up by Myers. First intentional walk.
He's got a couple of options too for long men in this game. Bronson Arroyo, obviously, and also Brandon Lyon, who was activated today.
Suppan takes a breaking ball for a strike. He grounded to short to end last inning. He's having a good year with the bat for Pittsburgh, hitting .293 before he was traded over to the Red Sox. Decent swing and a miss. 0-2. The 5 walks from Myers matches the most that he's had in a start this year. He's done it in just 2 2/3 innings. Swing and a miss. Suppan strikes out. That ends the inning. Now the Red Sox tied, and Myers hears the booze. 4 runs in the third for Boston. It's 4-4. Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Infinity, makers of innovative high-performance premium vehicles, and by Bernie and Phil's Furniture. Let our family make your family comfortable. .4-4 the score. The Phillies scored 2 in each of the first 2 innings. The Red Sox rallied for 4 as they batted around in the third. Line scores identical. Now the Red Sox will hope that Jeff Suppan can pitch better as he faces the middle third of the Phillies order here in the third inning. Lieberthal, Tomey, and Burrell coming up. Jeff's first pitch, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, low and away to Lieberthal, who struck out, swinging in the first, the only strikeout through the first 2 innings for Suppan. Swing and a miss, and a pitch low and away. Suppan with 3 bad outings after coming over from Pittsburgh, but the last 2 times out, 1 appearance to start and the other one out of the bullpen. He pitched very well, leading to hope that perhaps he was going to get into a groove, but start today that more closely resembles the first 3. A little pop fly, And a running catch made by Millar. Went down to slide onto his knees to make the catch. He had a long way to go, but fortunately that hung in the air for a while.
Yeah, the combination of a pretty good jump by Millar. Not great speed, obviously, but the fact that the baseball did stay up there a long time gave him a chance to come in and make this sliding play. Millar, the first to admit that he does not have blazing speed. Although he does hit inside the park home runs.
Yes, he does. The Red Sox have a shift on with Thome up there. And he takes strike one. He walked in the first. You see Miller, the only infielder on the left, and he's playing where the shortstop would ordinarily be shading up the middle. It's Todd Walker in shallow right field.
Pretty impressive for Thome to come to a new league this year, still have the 37 home runs, over 100 runs batted in, facing a lot of pitches that he is not familiar with.
He scuffled a little bit at the beginning of the year, which is understandable given the change in circumstance. Boy, that was a squibber down the line that just went foul. If it stayed fair, he might have run for a week. Of course, all the pressure of the big contract and trying to live up to the expectations that come with it, but he has set the Phillies record for home runs in a season by a first baseman with 37. Down and in. He's been on a home run tear. He's homered 9 times in the last 18 games. Batting with 1 out and the base is empty in the third. Red Sox and Phillies tied at 4. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Thome strikes out. Not often when a batter strikes out, you see the catcher begin throwing the ball around the infield, fire the ball out near second base. That's where Veritek had to throw, but that's where Miller was.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, isn't it? He looks out toward third base. There's nobody there. Let me throw it to the shortstop. That is the 153rd strikeout for Thome. He is second in the league in that category. Hernandez of Pittsburgh with 154.
Suppan retired the first 2 batters. When he threw ball 1 to Pat Burrell, he had a 2-out, 2-run single in the first inning. They got 2 more in the second on a home run by Jimmy Rollins. Tomas Perez aboard. Good pitch inside corner around the leaves. 1-1. Just inside.
It's a lineup, Sean, that generally takes quite a few pitches. They lead the National League in walks. They also lead in strikeouts. They don't steal very much.
Breaking ball bounces past Veritek. Certainly is hard to handicap that National League wildcard race with so many teams in it. For ball 4. That is the Phillies' only hope. Is as the wild card, they are 14 games behind the Atlanta Braves in the National League East.
Anxious to see how the Marlins hold up after losing Mike Lowell for the season.
Broken hand to get hit by a pitch over the weekend. Chase Utley, the batter, he grounded out to end the first inning. And he takes a strike outside part of the plate. Utley, a 24-year-old rookie. First round pick in the June 2000 draft, the 15th player taken overall. out of UCLA. He's a Southern Californian. Lined up the middle, base hit right past the head of Suppan. And on into center field. Burrell to second. And the Phillies are trying to get something accomplished here with 2 outs.
And 2 outs has been really the problem today so far for Jeff Suppan. All of the runs scored against him have been with the 2 outs. Open stance from Utley. He takes that outside pitch and shoots it right over the left shoulder of Jeff Suppan.
Earl at second, Utley at first. In a 4-4 game in the 3rd inning. Here's the number 8 hitter, Tomas Perez. And he looks at a strike. He singled to right and scored on the Rollins homer last inning. There that ends the inning. The Phillies strand 2. They've led 4. After 3 in Philadelphia, the Red Sox and Phillies tied at 4.
Back in Philly, all tied at 4 as we head into the final month of the season. Family bargain days are back. Some tickets remain and most at 25% off. Join us at Fenway when the Red Sox take on the Devil Rays September 15th through the 18th, and the Orioles September 22nd through the 24th. Tickets available 24 hours a day by calling toll-free 877-RED SOX 9 at redsox.com or during business hours at Fenway Park.
Top of the order, Johnny Damon took a strike. He hasn't seen many from Myers. Myers has walked him twice, including last inning. Johnny led off and started the 4-run rally. He's on base for the 3rd time with a base hit into left field between Perez and Rollins.
Johnny Damon, who's been getting on base on a regular basis recently for the Red Sox, gets that fastball that's tailing away and slaps it to the opposite field. On base 3 times today, as Sean mentioned, a couple of walks and now the base hit. Also has the steal.
6 hits and 5 walks given up by Myers in 3+ innings. Todd Walker looked at ball 1. He walked in the first, singled to left and scored last inning. And the bullpen activity begins quickly for Philadelphia. Carlos Silva, who was up last inning, jumped up to begin throwing as soon as Damon's ball found its way through into left field. Walker won a lengthy battle with Myers last inning, a 9-pitch at bat for Todd. Singled on the 9th pitch. Damon runs. Walker pops it up. Damon is retreating to first as the catch is made by Marlon Byrd, the center fielder. 1 out in the 4th.
I'm sure that was just Damon stealing on his own. I doubt very much if it was a hit and run. It's not a play you usually put on a 2-0 count. You kind of leave that for the hitter to be pick a pitch that he likes to swing at. A lot of base runners won't go to a 2-0 count just for that reason. It seems like some of them feel like they're distracting the hitter.
Garcia Parra, who has twice grounded to third, once into a double play, picked up an RBI with a ground out last inning. It's a 4-4 game in the 4th inning. Talking with Joe Kerrigan before the game today, so they're going to keep a close eye on Myers the rest of the season. He is a rookie. A lot of times when rookie pitchers get into this part of the season, he's up over 170 innings pitched now. They can hit a little bit of a wall. With that in mind, they've been trying to keep his pitch count around 100 or lower. He's hit 80 pitches so far today. And threw strike one to Nomar. And strike two on a foul ball back.
Well, obviously, the difference, unless you're in postseason play in the minor leagues, your season's done. And if they finish right around September 1st, obviously the team's going into the playoffs, so extend that season a little bit longer. That's a lot more bullets you have to fire at the major league level in a month.
The 0-2. Shot foul. As you saw in the graphic a moment ago, Nomar's had a much better season with the bat at Fenway Park. And on the road, obviously they could use production from Nomar on this very important 9-game road trip that begins today here in Philadelphia. With this makeup game, they'll head to Chicago right after the ball game. Red Sox closed out the month of August with just a 15-14 record. Lost 2 games in the American League East standings. They were 3.5 behind the Yankees when August began. They begin September 5.5 out of first place. Lieberthal out to chat now with Myers with the count 1-2 on Garciaparra.
A game up in Toronto. The Yankees have fallen behind Toronto. Toronto has taken a 4-1 lead. That game is in the top of the 6th inning.
Along the right field line. Abreu in the foul ground to make the catch.
It's a bit tricky down both lines here as the fans, very similar to Fenway Park. They are very close to the foul line. Then all of a sudden you get a lot of foul territory. Abreu has plenty of room to get around the stands and make the catch. Dykstra, Dalton, John Kruk makes it in front of John Kruk.
Some of the stalwarts on that 93 team. That was the last year the Phillies were in the playoffs when they were the National League champions and lost in 6 games to the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series. That was a good team managed by Jim Fregosi, and boy, did they have some characters. We just mentioned a few of them. Dave Hollins, Mitch Williams, some of the other interesting folk on that club. David Ortiz walked and singled. He scored after singling last inning. Red Sox 4, Phillies 4, 2 outs. Heyman still at first here in the 4th inning. 2-0 now on Ortiz. Next year they will move into Citizens Bank Park. Everything around here seems named after some sort of financial enterprise. The new football stadium for the Eagles, which is open right next door, is Lincoln Financial Field. And right across the street they have their still relatively new arena in which the Flyers and Sixers play, which is now named after Wachovia. It used to be First Union. And the old Spectrum is also right next door. Former home of the Flyers. And
is that still the Spectrum?
It's the, I believe, the Wachovia Spectrum.
Play Celtics-Phillies games from that place.
Oh, yeah.
The Phillies beat 76ers.
And with the new football stadium next door, the baseball stadium on its way to completion, this facility and the 2 arenas across the street. We're talking about 5 sports facilities in about a 2-block area here.
I imagine this place has become a very large parking lot for the new stadium.
Amen. Not soon enough. 3-1 pitch with Damon going is ball 4. Ortiz is on for the 3rd time today. Myers has walked 6. And here comes Joe Kerrigan again. Joe's son, who was once a minor leaguer in the Red Sox organization, Joe Jr., is now playing in independent league baseball in New Jersey.
Some interesting information. You can't blow up this stadium. You got to take a wrecking ball to it because there are subways. So you can't blow this place up, Sean. You just have to knock it down.
I mean, that was similar to the old Boston Garden.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is right on top of North Station there. Blew that up. It might have caused a little problem with the rail service.
In a new Fleet Center, too.
Now, that was a bit of amazing construction. Really, about 6 inches between the old garden and the new Fleet Center. I was doing an Army-Navy football game here a couple of years ago. Kevin Millar, the batter. And these stands collapsed in the end zone. A number of the Naval Academy servicemen and women fell onto the field about 15 feet. And we were critical of Veterans Stadium, talking about this place falling apart. And the mayor of Philadelphia is now the governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, said it was all CBS's fault. If they hadn't pointed the cameras at the students celebrating a touchdown, they never would have fallen on the field. Second one. Fortunately, nobody was seriously hurt, but it was very scary. The game was delayed for about 45 minutes. They brought ambulances on the field, carted off several of the folks who fell onto the field. And this place is a dump. And fortunately, there are a few dumps remaining. You know, we're running out of dumps now in Major League Baseball. It was CBS's fault. The fact that the stands were held together by duct tape and glue had nothing to do with it. Only those nasty camera people didn't actually point their cameras at folks who were cheering. Three and one to count. A friend of mine who's an assistant coach for the Philadelphia Eagles here, Jerry, I went down to his office a couple years ago to visit him. I can't even tell you the story. It's too disgusting.
Well, none of you started. Well, is there any way you can clean it up?
I guess with that little warning, he pointed to me the light that was over his desk. It was part of the ceiling, really. It was badly stained. We talked about that. That's where the rodents go to relieve themselves.
Being very kind to the office
of an assistant coach of the National Football League. 3-2 pitch to Millar, ball 4, and that might be it for Myers. Fans have had enough of this, that's for sure, as he's walked 7. Carlos Silva is ready. If they want him, it'll be Trot Nixon to bat next. He lined a double into the right field corner. And not going to run last inning. Looks like Myers will get at least one more batter. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 4-4 game here in the 4th. The Red Sox have not had the lead today. He sent 9 men to the plate last inning. Nixon, the 6th batter of this inning, and he takes a changeup for a strike.
Now, this is certainly not the same guy they faced last time when he just completely shut down the Red Sox. He had flashes of that back in the 2nd inning, but that's about it.
And shut out the Red Sox, a complete game 3 hitter here in June. Nowhere near that effective today. He's ahead of Nixon now, 0-2.
Nixon going for the downs on that swing, too, looking to clean the bases. Gets his fastball, big swing from Nixon, but fouls it straight back.
Career grand slam for Trout, but just a .241 lifetime batting average with the bases full. The 0-2 pitch popped up and out of play to the left. Unlike previous seasons, the Red Sox have had a good year in interleague play, 10-7 against the National League. Twice as many interleague wins as they had last year. They went 5-13 against the senior circuit. Another 0-2 pitch with a check swing and a foul ball. This will be the 100th pitch for Myers. And we're in the 4th inning. Game in the runner at third. Ortiz at second. Millar at first. 2 outs. 4-4 game in the 4th. The 0-2 to Nixon is outside. The Red Sox have battled from 4-0 down to take a 5-4 lead. And a pinch hitter for Myers. Nick Punto is up there.
Wants to catch a Lieberthal here. Take the ball out of his glove. Now, does he tag him with the ball out of the glove? Looks like the foot is on the bag. And the baseball in the throwing hand of Lieberthal. Now, he has to have, if he's going to tag him with the glove, that ball's going to be in there.
It looked like he did tag him with the ball on the knee, but it was already after Ortiz was stepping on home plate. Tim Cheetah had great position. It was a very difficult call. We looked at it a number of times, the replay during the break between innings. Head first slide, but Garcia Parra's throw in time to get the pinch hitter for the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
Strange play all the way around. We'll look at the end of this play again. Now watch Lieberthal dive. The baseball comes out of his glove. Does he tag him? It looks like on the back of the leg, but it also looks like the foot's on the plate.
Yeah, he's safe. Because the glove might have brushed up against Ortiz before he reached the plate, but the ball, as you saw, was in the bare hand that tagged him on the knee when his foot was on the plate.
A lot of crazy things on that play. First of all, the outfielder Abreu throwing from his heels really was not in a good position to throw that ball. Ortiz running through the sign. No slide by Ortiz, and then the very strange tag play at home.
And the bottom line is Mike Cubbage was trying to stop Ortiz, and he ran right through him. I thought when the ball was in the air heading toward Abreu, he was going to catch it. He started in, and then laid back, and it didn't bounce very far in front of him. Marlon Byrd, the batter. Suppan pitching with the lead for the first time today. And has been in a jam in every inning. They've had at least 2 base runners in every inning. And he's fallen behind Byrd 3-0. Byrd singled and scored in the first, lined sharply to the second baseman Walker in the second. Close, called ball 4. And a wild walk for Byrd. Suppan has walked 3.
Now the Red Sox will team up with the American Red Cross and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center to host a blood drive September 11th at Fenway Park. The drive will run from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the 406 Club. Donors will receive a Red Sox gift bag and be entertained by Red Sox personalities while they wait. Your support can help save lives, so please join us September 11th in supporting this important effort.
Jimmy Rollins, the batter, he's been a thorn in the side of Suppan with 2 hits. He singled and scored in the first, and then lined a 2-run homer over the fence in right in the second. 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, 2 runs batted in, and a changeup missed for ball 1. Now Dave Wallace out to the mound. No action at the moment in the Red Sox bullpen. I would think one more base runner, then they'd get up. The Red Sox have had to battle back hard to take the lead. Suppan has scuffled in each inning. That's close for the ball. 2-0.
Yeah, the last couple of innings, everything going the Red Sox way right now. You want to try to keep momentum. Don't let these Phillies grab it back like they had in the first couple of innings.
Veritek appeared to be chatting with Tim Cheetah, the home plate umpire, after that last pitch was called a ball. Rollins peels one foul to the left. Yankees and Toronto have gone to the bottom of the 7th inning at Skydome, and the Blue Jays are still leading 4-1. You have Roy Halladay. Suppan quickly to first to check on Bird.
2 balls, 1 strike, certainly a count that Larry Bowa may put a play on.
Runner not going, the pitch low. And the big bats are waiting to come up after Rollins with Abreu on deck, then Lieberthal and Tomey. Bird with 5 steals. He's not been caught. Rollins looks to be taking all the way. And it's a full count. We'll see if Larry Bowa has Bird running now. Bird goes. Rollins chops it over the mound. Garcia Parra. Ortiz got tangled up with the runner Rollins. On the 3rd, Bird, and the 2nd goes Rollins.
Ortiz had the reach across his body, being a left-handed first baseman. You mentioned a little bit of a collision with the runner going down the line, but that sidearm flip by Garcia Parra not close to first base.
They credit Rollins with a single, then charge Garcia Parra with a throwing error, allowing each runner to advance 1 base. That's the first error of the game for either team. Garcia Parra's 16th error of the year. It's the Red Sox team high.
And there is some scrambling around now and down in that Red Sox bullpen.
2 men in scoring position. Tying run at 3rd. Go ahead run at 2nd for Bobby Abreu, who's hit it hard twice, but nothing to show for it. He's lined to center and to left. Strike the count on Abreu. Now 0 for his last 16. fielder, and a good block by Veritek, shifting to his right. Double-barreled action. Brandon Lyon and Scott Sauerbeck in the Boston bullpen. Red Sox. Hits are even at 7 apiece. Line and finally Abreu has a hit to show for 3. Well struck balls, and this one gives Philadelphia a lead. Vernon Rollins on a 2-run single by Bobby Abreu at 6-5.
Here this afternoon, Red Sox and Phillies. Abreu, outside fastball into the gap in left center field. Picks up his 89th and 90th run batted into the season, and the Phillies go back on top 6-5. So neither starting pitcher in this game effective at all.
And I would suggest the Red Sox were at least a batter slow in getting people up. As soon as they got the walk to Bird, you thought there might be some activity out there. Suppan a little bit unlucky in that the hit by Rollins was just a chopper over the mound. And there have been a lot of well-struck balls as well. Here's Lieberthal, is struck out and fly to left.
It's interesting to see Sauerbeck up at this stage of the ball game, which is very unusual. That's because of the man that's on deck, Jim Thome.
Fastball for a strike. Lieberthal, the only non-pitcher among the Philadelphia starters today who has not reached base. Came into today's game riding a 5-game hitting streak. He's hitting 14 of 17. Hits it hard to second. Nice play by Walker. The Garcia on the first, a double play. And ends the inning. The Phillies get 2. And after 4 on a wild Labor Day game in Philadelphia, 6-5 Phillies. Nightcast at 10 on UPN 38. Before you go to bed, get the latest on news that affects you from Sarah Underwood and Tim Wayman. When you watch news at 10 o'clock, watch Nightcast at 10 every weeknight on UPN 38. 6-5 Philadelphia. Phillies with 2 runs in the 4th to reclaim the lead. And a new pitcher for the Phils after 4 rocky innings from the starter Brett Myers. Here's Carlos Silva on for the 53rd time this year. 3-1 with a save, an ERA of 4.81. He's pitched 76 and 2/3 innings. He has allowed a lot of base runners, 85 hits and 32 walks. He's 24 years old from Venezuela. His first pitch is a ball to Bill Miller. Silva, a big guy, 6'4", 240. Was a starter through most of his time in the minors. Last year they converted him into a relief pitcher, and he spent his first year in the majors. Out of play. 1-1 to count on Miller. He flied to left in the 2nd, grounded to first to drive in a run in the 3rd. Phillies starter Brett Myers pitched 4 innings and allowed 5 runs, all earned on 7 hits and 7 walks. Miller jammed, flares one in a row to base hit. Just out of the reach of the leaping second baseman Chase Utley. So Miller has his first hit of the day. He's 1 for 3.
Everybody in the Red Sox lineup, with the exception of Garcia, Parra, and Suppan, the pitcher, with a base hit now in this ball game. As Bill Miller drops one in the right field.
Veritek, the batter. Suppan scheduled to bat next, and he is in the on-deck circle.
A little surprising there, Sean. There is, again, some action down in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
Veritek takes strike one. Maybe Grady Little is just waiting to see what happens here.
Well, it's possible. It's possible if there are 2 base runners on, he may leave him up there to sacrifice and get 2 men in the scoring position. But again, Sauerbeck continues to throw in the bullpen. You think he'd be coming out for Tomey.
Foul tip. Veritek in an 0-2 hole. He has singled and was intentionally walked in the 3rd. 6-5 Philadelphia. Each team with 8 hits already. Nobody out in the 5th inning. The Red Sox have made an error. Throwing error by Garcia Parra led to 1 unearned run. One of the 2 runs scored by the Phillies. Then the 4th was earned and the other unearned. Actually seems to be getting a little bit brighter here. Dark overcast for most of the afternoon. Still cloudy overhead, but a little bit brighter. The lights have been on from the start. Swing and a miss. Lively fastball from Carlos Silva at 93 miles per hour.
Keeping the fastball away from Veritek to pick up the strikeout. I'm a little surprised at this. I thought that was going to be the afternoon for Suppan. He'll be called upon to bunt here to get the Miller in scoring position.
And 8 sacrifices this year while with Pittsburgh. On the .293 average, as we showed you earlier. He does get the bunt down. Lieberthal to Utley covering. Sacrifice 2-4. You're right, with Tomey coming up next inning, you thought you might see Sauerbeck. Certainly doesn't make any sense to bring Sauerbeck in now if you're going to let Suppan hit for himself.
And the only other possibility would be to save a pinch hitter, because you got a guy out there to bunt. That doesn't make any sense with the one out running out to be a second out of the inning.
Larry Boa on his way to the mound. Damon, the left-handed hitter, due up. He has had a lefty throwing, and he is going to make a pitching change. So Silva pitches 2/3 of an inning, allows a hit and strikes out one. He leaves, and the veteran Dan Plesac will be the new pitcher when we come back to Philadelphia.
Here at 6-5, Phillies lead, and this is being played right now like it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. We're only in the 5th inning, but Larry Boa goes to the left-handed Dan Plesac, who's been around as long as baseball's been around. 49th appearance, 2-1 in the season. Opponents only hitting .214 against Plesac. Couple of lefties up. Damon, then Walker. The reason for the switch.
Plesac, 41 years old, throws ball 1 to Damon, who walked twice and singled against the starter, Brett Myers. Johnny has scored twice. He has stolen a base. Trying to deliver Bill Miller from second is what would be the tying run. 6-5 Philadelphia. 2-0 the count from Plesac. Broke into the major leagues with Milwaukee in 1986. Early in his career, a closer and a very good one. Over the last decade or so, a setup man primarily. Belt high strike. Plesac has pitched for the Brewers, the Cubs, Pittsburgh. He had 2 stints with Toronto, Arizona, and now the Phillies. Came over in the middle of last season. Trade for Cliff Politte. Nasty pitch there to the left-handed swinging Damon. Johnny 3 for 8 lifetime against Plesac. Dan is making career appearance number 1,055 here today. That's 4th all time. He needs 16 more to tie Hoyt Wilhelm for 3rd place in the all-time baseball appearance list. Payoff pitch. Just missed, and Damon is on for the 4th time in 5 innings. 3 times he has walked today.
Kept trying to put Damon away with that outside fastball and just kept missing the outside corner. And to Damon's credit, did not chase those pitches.
And here's Todd Walker. He has walked, singled, and scored, and fly to center. Tying run at second, go ahead run at first. 2 outs, 5th inning. And a strike nipped the outside corner. Walker asked Tim Cheetah about it. In the dirt, a good stop by Lieberthal. Plesac, an Indiana native, born in Gary, went to high school in Crown Point. Now lives in Valparaiso. Very active with horses. He's the proprietor of a farm. 3 up, 3 down. Good name for a farm. Owned by a pitcher. 1-2 the count, but Walker tried to check his swing and could not.
Yeah, Plesac throws that fastball breaking ball just about from that same arm angle, and always has been tough on left-hand hitters.
1-2 pitch, outside and low.
The other left-hander out of the bullpen for the Phillies, Real Cormier.
2-2 pitch outside. So with the count 3-2 and 2 outs, the runners will get the jump. Miller from second and Damon from first. They got Mike Williams warming up in the bullpen. If Walker gets on, he will likely come in to pitch to Garcia Parra. The runners go. The 3-2 pitch fouled away.
This is being played right now by Larry Boy, that was expecting the rain to come in just after 5.
5 innings or 5 o'clock?
Whichever comes first. Not exactly a snappy ball game.
We're almost to the 2-hour mark here. Not yet halfway through the game. Ball 4. Well, there's been dreadful pitching on both sides today.
He goes get the left hand, and he tried to get a couple of left-handers, and he walks both of them. And a little conference now between Tony, Rollins, Plesac, maybe just to get Williams some more time down in that bullpen.
Well, I guess it's saying something when your pitchers have walked 9 and given up 8 hits in 4 2/3 innings, and you're still ahead.
Yeah, you're ahead by a run.
Some boos. And he's chatting with Tim Cheetah on the way out here. Makes you wonder if maybe there'll be some sort of double switch. So Plesac faces 2 batters and walks them both. And Mike Williams will be the new pitcher for Philadelphia when we come back. Down to Jerry Remy back in Philadelphia, where the Phillies lead 6-5. The Red Sox have loaded the bases. With 2 outs in the 5th, the 3rd pitcher of the inning and 4th of the game for the Phillies is Mike Williams.
Numbers overall on the season, both with the Phillies and also with the Pirates. Came over to the Phillies from the Pirates back on July the 20th for a minor leaguer. All-star performer this year, all-star last season.
Here's Pittsburgh's lone representative. Did not get into the game in Chicago this year. Pitch on the dirt that bounces away from Lieberthal. Miller started down the line. They realized the ball wasn't going very far.
Looks like he tries to break off the slider here on the first pitch, and Lieberthal able to block it. Doesn't roll too far from him, and Miller has to stay at third base. Man, I'll tell you, Labor Day, pitchers are certainly laboring today.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Silva, who started this thing, looked like he was throwing the ball pretty well.
Yeah, better than anybody in the game.
Bo is managing like it's the 8th or 9th inning. Nice strike. And a count of 1-1 on Nomar. He He's had a tough day, 0 for 3 at the plate with a costly throwing error in the field. A chance to turn his day around quickly right here. Damon, the runner at second, a base hit. The outfield would likely give the Red Sox the lead. Miller at third, Damon at second, Walker at first. Single and 2 walks in the inning. Check swing at a ball long away. Omar, a terrific hitter throughout his career with the bases loaded, a .385 average. 4 career grand slams.
Red Sox did see Williams earlier this season when he was a member of the Pirates.
He saved a game during that series in Pittsburgh. Routine fly ball in shallow left center. Barry, the center fielder, takes it. Ian Burrow did a lot of gesturing with a center left third to make the catch. Red Sox lead the loading and still trail 6-5. Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. That bottle, the only thing that is rolling right along today. Over 2 hours to play the first 4.5 innings. It hasn't been pretty, but it is competitive. Jim Thome fouls one off his leg. He has walked and struck out. And Jeff Suppan given it at least 1 run in every inning except the third when the Phillies stranded 2. Thome, Burrell, and Utley coming up. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Philadelphia. There is no action in the Red Sox bullpen as the inning begins. Thome, a big swing and a foul to the backstop.
Coming into the game today, Thome was a .257 hitter against Suppan with a couple of home runs. Walk and a strikeout today.
Everybody hit the mobile star.
Tim Cheetah missed that one.
Suppan tries the backdoor curveball. And apparently just off the outside corner, and Steve Veritek trying to frame that pitch.
1-2 pitch lined over the head of Walker, who again was playing in shallow right field. When it shift on, Thome manages to rip one over the head of the second baseman. Really like a short fielder in softball there.
With a slider that time from Suppan down and away, and it's hooked for the base hit. And still no activity down in the Red Sox bullpen. Just a couple of guys that appear to be stretching right now.
Everybody hit.
Like Timlin.
Doing his Wendell Kim imitation. At Burrow with a point played by Miller on a hop. Walker turns the double play. Burrow hit it hard, but right at the third baseman. A nice job by Miller to get that 5-4-3 double play going.
Pretty good play. Pretty good pivot there by Walker at second base, too, because the ball on this artificial surface obviously gets to that third baseman quicker. And Miller got rid of it right away. You can see that Walker was pretty much on the run going toward the bag, had to readjust to tag second base and then complete the throw to first base. Off balance throw, but plenty of time to get the double play.
I think a lot of the outs in this game have been hard.
Yep.
There's Chase Utley. He takes the ball outside. He grounded out to end the first. He singled to center in the third. Phillies have 9 hits. Suppan has walked 3. Struck out 2. Throws a strike to Utley. 1-1. Waiting for the towering fly. That ends the inning. An 8-pitch inning for Suppan. After 5 in Philadelphia, the Phillies lead 6-5.
By 1 as we go to the top of the 6th. The Red Sox in 4 now provide free shuttle bus operated by Paul Revere to Fenway Park from Northeastern University. Buses depart every 10 minutes, beginning 90 minutes before game time, and buses return to the station on Northeastern up to 1 hour after the game. For more information, visit redsox.com.
David Ortiz, the batter. He takes the ball up and away from Mike Williams. Ortiz has walked twice and singled. He scored after singling in the 3rd. Red Sox trail 6-5 as they bat in the 6th against the 4th pitcher of the day for Philadelphia. Mike Williams came in last inning. Had Garcia Parra to fly to center to end the inning. The Red Sox left the bases loaded. Boston has stranded 9 men through the first 5 innings. Carlos Silva pitched 2/3 of an inning of relief, allowed 1 hit and struck out 1. Dan Plesac 0 innings, walked both batters he faced. In his career appearance number 1,055, only Jesse Orozco and our buddy Dennis Eckersley and Hoyt Wilhelm have made more appearances than Dan Plesac. This would probably not be his best memory of the 1,055. Williams got him out of the jam. Ortiz pops it up, shallow left. Rollins a long way out to make the catch. Ortiz retired for the first time today. Meanwhile, up in Toronto, the Yankees are on their way to defeat, it would appear, as they trail the Blue Jays 8-1 in the top of the 9th. Halliday apparently still in there.
Derek Jeter had to leave the game yesterday. I don't imagine he'd be in that starting lineup today for the Yankees. They were talking about him missing a couple of games.
Ribcage muscle strain for Jeter. Millard grounded out to end the 1st, singled to drive in a run and scored in the 3rd, walked and was stranded in the 4th. Disappointing loss for the Red Sox yesterday, certainly. Both losses tough over the weekend. You have to give the fans a tremendous amount of credit for the way they responded when Roger Clemens came out of the game. And you also have to believe that he did the right thing in coming out and tipping his cap to acknowledge the tremendous ovation given to him by the Red Sox fans, many of whom had booed Clemens over the years, but with his last performance at Fenway Park in all likelihood yesterday, a chance to salute him for the many great years of pitching. Even if you don't like some of the other stuff, you have to acknowledge he's one of the great pitchers of all time.
Yeah, it certainly is. One of the greatest in Red Sox history, going to the Hall of Fame. And it was interesting, Sean, you know, prior to the game, they were booing him as he headed out to warm up. Red Sox fans wanted him to do poorly, obviously. The Red Sox win the game, but they did rise to the occasion when he left that ball game. And I mentioned yesterday, I don't think Roger knew what to expect when he was walking off the mound. I think he was very touched by that reception he did get from the Boston fans.
The 1-2 pitch. Hanger swatted to the right, fouled and stopped by Utley, and he throws him out.
Utley actually timed this guy absolutely perfectly as he could sense the line drive coming off the bat. Look where he's playing, shading up the middle, and look how soon he goes in and then down to make the play. Hits that ground pretty hard, does not lose the baseball out of the glove, and then from that point really has plenty of time to throw Millar out at first base. These pitchers would appreciate some good defense to help them out today.
Phillies playing without David Bell. He's on the disabled list. They had to move some folks around in the infield, and Utley has done a very nice job since coming back for the 3rd time this year from the minors. A chance for a 1-2-3 inning. At this point, there has not been a half inning in which the team has failed to put a runner on base. Suppan faced only 3 batters in the bottom of the 5th, but there was a base runner. Thome singled and was erased on a double play ball. This might be the first base runner free half inning of the game. Nixon hoping it is not. Has the count in his favor. Nixon has doubled and singled, 2 for 3. He's driven in 1 run with each of those hits. Takes ball 3 away, 3 balls and 1 strike. That game in Toronto has gone final. The Blue Jays win 8-1. So the Red Sox with a chance to pick up a game in the American League East and get back within 4.5. The Yankees. A full count now for Nixon. Mike Williams, a 35-year-old veteran. Started his career with Philadelphia, went on to Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Houston. Pittsburgh again, and then returned to Philadelphia, and there's a walk. So it is not a base runner free inning. They played that entire game today in Toronto, Jerry, in 2 hours and 11 minutes. And we're past 2 hours and 11 minutes here in the top of the 6th.
And they had quite a few runs. I mean, Toronto had 8 runs in that game. The Yankees only the 1. Was that Halladay that started?
Yes.
Very quick worker.
I believe David Wells.
Yep.
Halladay was the winner. He did pitch the 9 innings and struck out 10. A 4-hitter, earning his 18th win of the year. People talk about how it's a wide-open Cy Young race, and certainly there are other candidates, but I think if you voted right now, he'd be the winner, don't you?
Well, either he or Esteban Loaiza. I think Loaiza would certainly get a lot of votes. So Loaiza's second in the league in ERA, 2.45. He's also got the 18 wins. And of course, Chicago is in first place in that division. He's been quite a story. He might be, of all pitches, he might be the story of the year.
Kerrigan quickly to the mound.
That's the 4th time for Joe today on the Joe Tracker.
Red Sox will not see Loaiza in the 2-game set in Chicago. They'll face Bartolo Colon. No easy task. He's pitched well lately. Tomorrow night, John Burkett on the mound for Boston. And on Wednesday, Derek Lowe against the lefty Mark Burley. 1-0 to Bill Miller is outside. Miller singled his last time up. That was last inning against Carlos Silva. He grounded out to drive in a run in the 3rd. 6-5 Phillies, 2 outs. Nixon the runner at first, being held by Thome. Pitch lofted down the left field line and back into the stands. They have not yet announced the attendance. The Phillies' largest crowd of the season was earlier in the year when the Red Sox were here. It's 60,960 here for the game on June 22nd. They were talking about threatening that today.
Mike Schmidt bobblehead doll day here at the ballpark.
I think they were going to give those out back in June. So they've had to store those Mike Schmidt bobbleheads, or as they call them here, bobbing heads, since mid-June. Lovely facility. I wonder how many of those bobblehead dolls had their ears and nose chopped off, bitten off by some of the inhabitants of the stadium.
And not one of your favorite places, huh?
It's a rough place right here. 3-1 pitch hit pretty well to center. Bird retreating to make the catch. Red Sox win their 10th winner of the afternoon and still trail 6-5 in the 6th in Philadelphia.
Ford dealers pick a giveaway.
Phillies lead 6-5 as they bat in the 6th. Jeff Suppan still out there, trying to battle his way through a day when he clearly has not had his best stuff. Tomas Perez, the number 8 hitter, leads off. He looked at ball 1. Pitcher due up next. Kelly Stinnett is on deck to bat for Williams. Strike at the knees on Perez, who's 1 for 2.
And there is a lefty out in the bullpen. That's looked to be Cormier, I would imagine, warming up for the Phillies. He is Red Sox player.
I'll tell you, the powers of deduction are very impressive. Garrett took over by the dugout, makes the pitch. Nice play with a basket catch right near the top step of that Philadelphia dugout.
Now these dugouts here at the vet very close to home plate. Probably the closest in all of baseball. And you see Bernstein going right to the top step. He's got a battle of camera position, the photographers, and the dugout. And stretching out makes the play. A lot of cameras here today. We've got the game across Phillies television, ESPN covering the ball game day.
Here's Kelly Stinnett, just acquired over the weekend in a trade from Cincinnati. That came after yesterday's game for a player to be named later. He was hitting .229 as a backup catcher for Cincinnati. 2 for 11 this year as a pinch hitter. Phillies now his 5th major league team. He's played with the Mets, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, the Reds, and Philadelphia. And he has a hit in his first Philadelphia at bat. Looping base hit over the head of Bill Miller. Malone got it back in quickly to hold Stinnett to a one-out single.
Beritek set up away, that ball down and away, but a pretty good job of plate coverage there by Kelly Stinnett. The line drive just up over the head of Miller for the base hit.
Stinnett with the 10th hit for Philadelphia. Here's the part of the order that's really been a problem for Suppan. Marlon Byrd with Jimmy Rollins on deck. Byrd and Rollins have combined to score 5 of the 6 Phillies runs. Byrd managed to get the bunt down. Suppan throws him out. This is a 1-out bunt.
You have to think there, Brewer was running for a base hit in that situation, but let's see how they score. No sacrifice, and it should not be a sacrifice. You know, the way he went up there, looks like he wanted to drop it down the third baseline, but because of the location of the pitch, the only place he could put it was down the first baseline.
Still an interesting decision. 2 bunts by Byrd. It didn't work out for him. A pitcher who struggled all day, and you've had success against him yourself.
Swing the bat.
Swing the bat. Deep pitch count now for Suppan. Here's Rollins, 3 for 3, 2 singles, one of the infield chopper. He had a 2-run homer. He has scored 3 runs. Pulled slowly down to Ortiz. And that's the inning. So Suppan's best 2 innings have been the last 2, the 5th and the 6th. The Red Sox are still down 6-5. Fall River, birthplace of the Rem Pub. They're here from Fall River. And hello back to you.
Pretty good fans down at Fall River, Sean. St. Anne's Hospital.
Do they have a sign now when you drive in at Fall River? Birthplace of the Rim Dog?
I don't know. I haven't been there in a while.
Well, Cormier, the new pitcher for Philadelphia. He's had a very good year, as the numbers we saw would indicate. Red Sox reliever. His first pitch of ball to Jason Varitek, who's batting right-handed for the first time today.
Kapler has come out on deck to hit the Suppan.
Circular stadium, but there are the flags that are blowing straight in from left center field. That Bud Light sign is out in left center field, and that flag going right back toward home plate. When that one left the bat, it looked like it had a great chance to get out of here.
Yeah, Varitek, the expression on his face, it looked like he thought he had the home run, but hurled right back to the warning track and the wall to make the play. You're going to wonder, Sean, how much effect this wind does have in this big place.
Kapler, the pinch hitter, fouls the first one out of play to right.
I can't imagine on that field you get much of a breeze at all because of the size of the stadium, and you know, it gets so hot and muggy here. At times it's going to be an awfully tough place to play in those conditions.
Kapler looks at the ball. Dave's hitting .295, 2 homers, 15 runs batted in. He's in search of his first pinch hit as a member of the Red Sox, 0 for 5 off the bench. Ripped it right to the third baseman. Perez, who was playing near the line, positioned perfectly. Ordinarily, that would be a left field corner ball and probably a double.
Seventh inning on, some managers prefer to play the line, and that time it pays off for Larry Bullock. Tomas Perez has had a very nice day down at third base today defensively. Takes extra bases away from Gabe Kapler. Now you're going to see Tomey move over toward the first base line. Not quite as close as Perez was the other side, but still on top of that first base line.
Johnny Damon up there. Red Sox have had a base runner at every inning, at least one. They had a chance to pitch a 1-2-3-7. Damon has walked 3 times and singled. He has stolen the base and scored 2 runs. Facing the 5th Phillies pitcher of the day. Myers, the starter, went 4. Line just foul. Carlos Silva pitched 2/3 of an inning. Plesac faced 2 batters, didn't retire anybody. Mike Williams, an inning and a third of scoreless and hitless relief. He walked 1. And now the Canadian Cormier. Little lob, shallow left. Rollins a running catch. There's some nice defense played behind Cormier in the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch in Philadelphia. On Labor Day, the Phillies lead by 1 run. Time now for news from around the majors, brought to you by Hewlett Packard. Barry Bonds still dealing with his grief after the death of his dad, Bobby Bonds, hospitalized last night in Arizona for exhaustion as a precautionary measure by the Giants. And the Yankees' Derek Jeter did not play today. He's expected to miss at least 3 games with a strained ribcage muscle. Enrique Wilson played short in the Yankees' 8-1 loss at Toronto today. That's news from around the majors. A very emotional time for Barry Bonds. New pitcher for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 7th. Scott Sauerbeck, and he threw ball 1 to Bobby Abreu.
17th appearance overall for Sauerbeck, a record of 0-1. He worked yesterday 2/3 of an inning against the Yankees, giving up a couple of earned runs. There you look at the rest of the numbers for Sauerbeck on the season. One of the problems he's had are the walks. 9 walks and 9 strikeouts in 9 in the 3rd inning.
Certainly one of the reasons why the Red Sox were only a game above 500 in August. Look at the bullpen. Wasn't any better than it has been through much of the season, even with the additions of Sauerbeck and Williamson. Reyes hit the ball hard all 3 times. And single to drive in 2 runs in the 4th. He had lined out twice previously. Clear count on the leadoff hitter, Abreu, Lieberthal on deck, and then Thome. And there's another walk from Sauerbeck. The bullpen ERA for the Red Sox in August was 5.13. Not what Bailey Little and Dave Hall as expected, particularly with the additions of Sauerbeck and Williamson. And they have gone a combined 0-2 with a collective ERA of 6.46. In 31 appearances since they joined the Red Sox at the end of July.
About the month of August, it was a problem for the Red Sox bullpen.
And Kim has had his difficulties lately. And Brady Little's made some statements indicating it might be back to sort of that closer by committee thing where he'll pick the pitcher based on the situation.
Yep, he said that 2 days ago.
Sauerbeck just missed with ball 1 and Mike Lieberthal. He's 0 for 3 today. Between the 2 teams. Phillies with the lead man on. They haven't scored since the 4th. Lieberthal hits on the hole, base hit. Doing that is single. Abreu to second. Early starter for Philadelphia, with the exception of pitcher Myers, has reached base now.
It's on top of the reach ball, and he bounces it through that hole between 3rd and short. They ball this out to the mound. Thome would be the hitter. Probably be the last batter that Sauerbeck will face in this game.
Phillies starter also has a hit in the fifth time. Lieberthal, Jeff Suppan in 6 innings. He allowed 6 runs. About to earn 10 hits. Walked 3, struck out 2, gave up a home run. Sauerbeck has walked the batter and given up a single.
Thome's average this year against left-hand is a little bit better than we're accustomed to seeing. 247 coming into the game today.
One for 2 in the ball game today. Walked in the 1st, and Suppan more or less pitched around him. Struck out swinging in the 3rd and singled over the head of Todd Walker in the right field. In the 5th, the runners on. They don't have the pronounced shift down in the infield as they have had previously. All 1 in the dirt. Philadelphia. Phillies looking for their 4th straight win. Red Sox trying to avoid their 3rd straight defeat. Good pitch there. Thome started to pull the trigger and could not.
As a left-handed hitter against a guy like Sauerbeck, you hope that he makes a mistake with the breaking ball and leaves it middle of the plate in. Like that one right there.
Hearing the crowd ooh and ah as Thome fouled that one away. He had a healthy hack that looked to be a little bit of a hanger.
Yep, Veritek wants that pitch away. It stays inside, and the Red Sox are very fortunate that Thome didn't hit a 3-run home run on that pitch.
a time where there's only so much the baseball administration and the manager and pitching coach can do. When it comes down, these guys have to eventually go out and do the job. No pitch up for Taylor. The throw pops out of the glove of Miller. He's slow to find it. And so Lieberthal heads in a second. Abreu's going on his own. Lieberthal is not running, but once the throw popped away from Miller, Lieberthal scurried into second base.
Yeah, part of the job of the trail runner, if you get a guy that's going to steal a base, keep your eye on him. See Lieberthal there, not watching him, but then once Miller can't find the baseball, you see it bouncing behind him there, that's when he heads into second base. Actually, Miller made a good nice play at keeping that ball out of left field. Another one.
That goes the bases. That's going to do it for Sauerbeck. I'm going from bad to worse for him. As we were saying, you know, they have who they have now. Maybe some of these guys who are coming back from injuries from the minors, up from the minors, to help them change things a little bit. But ultimately, the Red Sox going to succeed or fail based on if some of these guys in the bullpen get their act together.
What's the old saying? What's their saying? Cowboy up. It's time to cowboy up. Back in Philadelphia, big trouble for the Red Sox. Bases loaded, nobody out. They make the call on the bullpen, and they call on Mike Timlin for the 63rd time this season. Timlin among the league leaders in appearances. Certainly leads the Red Sox in that category. 6-4 record for Timlin. 6 walks in 74 and 2/3 innings.
Red Sox play the infield back, hoping for a double play. Trailing 6-5 in the 7th. Bases full for Pat Burrell. And the play on which Abreu stole third, credited to him with a stolen base. His 18th of the year. Then they charged Baritek with a throwing error that allowed Lieberthal to go from first to second. The Red Sox have committed 2 errors in the game now. Baritek's 8th error of the year. Timlin's first pitch, a strike inside part of the play, but belt high. Burrell didn't like it, nor did the crowd. 4 career grand slams for the former Miami Hurricane. One of the great players in college baseball history. Swing and a miss. A good pitch from Timlin over the outside part of the plate.
Like either a cut fastball or a slider that time from Timlin. Timlin throws a lot of fastballs, but a little cut seemed like at the end of that one.
Needless to say, could really use a strikeout. Chase Utley is on deck. 2-2 pitch up and in. Chase that high fastball he won't go for.
Of course, Timlin last year, a member of this Philadelphia Phillies club.
Come on, Pat, come on, let's get out of here.
Now it's 2-2 chop foul. This is a Philadelphia team with some turmoil. I mentioned the disastrous start to that road trip. They were 1-9, and Larry Bowa threw a temper tantrum Thursday night. A lot of people are crediting him. They haven't lost him. Others say it's just a coincidence. Burrow was in the midst of part of that over the weekend. Check swing, that looked like a swing. Strike 3, says Tim Cheetah. Burrow tried to check it, but it was too late. A big strikeout for Timlin for the first out of the 7th inning.
Good sinking fastball there from Timlin, too. And clearly you can see there, Burrow did not have control of the head of the bat. So a huge strikeout there for Mike Timlin.
Utley. 1 for 3. He singled in the third. Singled to center. Batting with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th. 6-5 Philadelphia. In on the hands, bounce down to first. Ortiz comes to the plate. Veritek holds on. So he cuts down the lead man, Abreu. 3-2 for the second out of the inning. Base is still loaded. With 2 outs, Timlin's done 2/3 the job here.
And no rush there by the Red Sox or David Ortiz. Just make sure you get that 1 out at home plate. Veritek will make the force of pop up as soon as he does not have a chance at first base. Holds on to the baseball. That's a play that hurt the Red Sox yesterday when Mirabelli threw the ball away.
Sloppy defense yesterday. 3 errors in the ballgame really hurt the Red Sox. They've made 2 more today. Here's Tomas Perez. 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the second. Sauerbeck loaded the bases. All 3 men he faced reached. Timlin's retired the first 2 he has faced, without allowing any of those inherited runners to score. Threw ball 1 down and into Perez. Pitcher Cormier due next. The ball high. Is Tim Cheetah in the middle of Veritek. There's Cormier in the on-deck circle. Played half the season last year here for the Phillies after he was traded by St. Louis right at the trade deadline in late July. And a deal that sent Scott Rowland to the Cardinals. Grounded foul. And now Timlin 1 strike away from a unbelievable job of pitching here in the 7th inning. If he could get them out of this bases loaded, nobody out situation unscathed.
Got a good break there because Tomas Perez certainly chased ball 3 instead of that count running to 3-1 with the bases loaded. Now 2-2.
The 2-2 to Perez. Given the ground down to first. Ortiz has it. Looked like he was going to flip it for a moment to Timlin, then kept it and won the race to the base. The fans boo. The Red Sox salute Mike Timlin. A great job to get them up to the joint. It's still 6-5 Phillies after 7. Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy, our producer Patrick Cavanaugh, director Mike Larachi, associate producer Greg Petranzio. Delighted to have you with us on Labor Day from Philadelphia. Phillies lead 6-5, and David McCarty is going to pinch hit for Todd Walker against the lefty Cormier to open the 8th inning. McCarty's been a hot hitter. Takes ball 1 low and away. Walker was on base 3 times today with 2 walks and a single. McCarty seeing more playing time than expected over the weekend, in part due to the illness of Manny Ramirez. If he tuned in late, Manny's still not in the lineup today. David had 3 hits yesterday against New York. 7 for 15 since joining the Red Sox. He was 7 for 8 on a homestand. Had a big pinch hit 2-run double. And the Red Sox are trying to rally in the 8th inning Saturday against Mariano Rivera. Close for the ball. Cormier came in last inning, pitched a 1-2-3 inning. The only half inning in this game in which there has not been a base runner. Red Sox have left 11 men on base. Philadelphia has stranded 8. A ball in the count, 3-1 on McCarty with Garcia, Parra, and Ortiz due to follow. Pitch, he walked him, ball 4 below. That goes the 11th walk given up by a Phillies pitcher today.
Unbelievable. And Damian Jackson in the pinch run at first base for McCarty. Now, this has not been pretty here today in the back.
You don't think it's going to be an instant classic? You go to Gary Thorne and Jeff Ridley and Dan Justice in the ESPN booth today and find out if this one's a candidate for instant classic status?
Not unless something spectacular happens in the next couple of innings, but I don't see it to this point.
Lieberthal out to chat with Cormier. That's a crowded booth over there at ESPN because they have a smaller booth. And look, there's Brantley on the left. That's David Justice behind the pole. Gary Thorne. You kind of have to like each other when you work together in a 3-man booth in this ballpark.
I was all over Gary Thorne. I said, you're so bad. I said, what do you need, 2 guys to help you out?
Here's Garcia Parra. After the first one, hits into the hole. Rollins stopped it, but has no play. And Nomar is on base for the first time today with an infield hit. He's 1 for 5.
With that base hit, Garcia Parra now with 183 on the season. That should put him into the league lead in that category. 1 ahead of Ichiro.
Pitcher on each team has a hit in this game. The Red Sox fans chanting, let's go Red Sox, and the Philly fans trying to drown them out with boos.
Philly fans know how to boo, that's for sure.
They do. Here's Ortiz with the time to win at second. Strike 1. Should we assume, based on the fact that Ramirez did not pinch hit earlier, hasn't appeared yet after debut with a couple of pinch hitters, that he's just not available at all today?
Brady would not say one way or the other.
In the orange center, pretty well hit. Bird retreating, spinning back, and that ball is over his head and off the wall. Jackson being waved around. Garcia Parra's right behind. Fortunately, the throw is offline. Throw to third, safe. And the Red Sox take the lead.
David Ortiz all the way to the 408. That's a slider from Cormier. Ortiz hangs in there against the left-hander and right above the 408 sign in center field. The relay goes offline. That's going to allow Garcia Parra to score. If that ball's on target, he may be thrown out at home plate. Ortiz aggressively goes on to third. He sees the relay. He sees it's not going to be cut off. And how about that slide going away from the tag of Tomas Perez?
Double for Ortiz. He took third on the throw. Garcia Parra read that well in that he was right behind Damian Jackson. He knew that Bird was not going to catch the ball. But it made it a very difficult play for Mike Covic because he was so close to Jackson. It was hard to grade one and stop the other. Ortiz is going to come out for the pitch runner now.
Maloney is going into third base to pinch run.
The infield is in for the Phillies. 3 straight men have reached here in the 8th. I'm a little surprised by that, Jerry, for what you gain down there. The way this is going, you think you might want Ortiz's bat again if he comes back around. You're also going to have to maneuver defensively.
Ortiz doesn't run that bad for a big guy either. I mean, you think on a sacrifice fly, obviously he'd be able to score. It's really not that big of a difference in speed between Ortiz and Maloney, quite honestly.
A case of overmanaging a little bit there. Rollins throws out Millar.
See, that's the other thing, too. You're not playing contact. I mean, it would almost make sense if you're putting speed at third base to play contact on that ground ball to the infield. Not the case there with the 1 out. It becomes a more likely option with 1 out in the inning. Plus, in this situation, too, you always think about squeeze, but you also got to have a guy up there that can bunt. I'm not sure they would put that play on with Nixon.
The infield remains in for the Phillies. Trout's been on base 3 times. He doubled a drive in and run in the 3rd, singled and knocked one in the 4th, and walked in the 6th, popping out his first time up. Red Sox have taken a 7-6 lead. They've been out hit 11-10. Red Sox have made 2 errors. Phillies have not been charged with an error. Cormier's first one to Nixon, a ball. Quiet here at the vet now with nearly 60,000 on hand. Still have not yet announced the official attendance. There was just a few light sprinkles when this inning was beginning. Ball low and away. 2-0. Stints with the Red Sox, pitched them in 1995 and again in 99 and 2000. That's right. Also pitched for St. Louis, Montreal, and the Phillies. Now 36 years old.
Come on, bat left, right. Come on, take one. Come on, Tom.
Pinch runner at 3rd, 1 out. 7-6 Red Sox in the 8th, 2-1 the count on Nixon. In the hands and chopped foul.
My guess is when the Red Sox return to the field, they probably have Jackson go to the outfield, Millar come into first base, and Maloney go to second, which would probably give him a better defense at this stage of the ball game with the lead.
Timlin now in position for a win. A long way to go in this one. Nixon fouled it back. Cormier's had 3 long scoreless streaks this year. Pitched 20 in the third consecutive scoreless innings back in April and May. 17 in the third from late May into July. And 15 scoreless innings in a row. In July and early August. Check swing, no swing, so Jeff Nelson. Nixon still up there with a full count now.
High fastball from Cormier. Good job there by Nixon to grab control of the head of that bat. Cormier's been with Kerrigan 3 times. One with Montreal, then with the Red Sox, and now again with the Phillies.
Nixon on the right hand or wrist, it appeared. Jim Rowe, the trainer, along with manager Grady Little, are going to come out and take a look at Nixon.
Right wrist, Sean? That's what it looked like, yeah.
Hard to tell exactly, but yeah, that's what it looked like again. Off the batting gloves. And who's going to stay in is Grady Little and Jim Rowe head back to the dugout. Joe Kerrigan visited the mound to chat with Cormier while Little and Rowe were on the field. Trout is the 4th base runner of the inning. Walk, an infield hit, a double by Ortiz. And now a hit batsman. Putting runners at first and third. With 1 out, Larry Boa moves the middle of his infield back to double play depth. With Bill Miller at the plate. 1 for 4 today. He singled off the right-hander Carlos Silva in the 5th inning. Grounded out to drive in a run in the 3rd. And takes a ball outside long. Miller, a .310 hitter, right-handed this year. Batting right-handed for the first time today. About the same spot. This one called a strike, 1-1. Miller had a look down at Mike Cubbage. Nixon being held by Tomey at first. 1-1 pitch popped up back here.
Timlin pacing back and forth, and as he does that, it looks like Kim is loosening up down in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Interesting to see how this develops. We get into that closing situation for the Red Sox.
Timlin, Mike Aaron, has been their best relief pitcher lately.
Most consistent. Yep.
1-2 pitch. It was just get fouled away. At the very least, you think he might run back out there for one more inning.
I think that's the plan, Sean. That this has been a very long inning for the Red Sox. And sometimes if the guy's sitting around in that dugout a long time, they won't send him back out there. Timlin just pacing back and forth.
Red Sox scored 2 here in the 8th to take the lead for the second time today. Trailed 4-0, battled back to tie at 4, took a 5-4 lead, and fell behind 6-5 before the 2 in this inning, and Miller was called out on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Cormier in an inning and 2/3 of relief. Just the 3rd strikeout by a Phillies pitcher today.
After a couple of high fastballs back to the inside corner with a fastball, before the strikeout.
Here's Jason Varitek, the 7th batter of the inning. He has singled and intentionally walked, struck out, and fly to left. Fly to deep left, leading off last inning against Cormier. Sent Pat Burrell back up against the wall near the 371 mark. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. As we remember vividly from his years with the Red Sox, Cormier, a very slow worker.
Deliberate, they like to say.
Right off the end of the bat into the Phillies dugout, even in the count at 1-1.
I think the slowest worker the Red Sox have ever had was Jeff Gray. Do you remember that name?
Yes, sure. He was very slow. But Cormier is right there with him. If you ever had 2 setup men who were Gray and Cormier at the same time, the game would never end.
Oh, my goodness.
Hit on the ground to short. Sounded like a broken bat. Rollins throws him out. Red Sox settle for 2. And that's good enough to take the lead. In the 8th, Boston 7 and Philadelphia 6.
Well, I had a really nice time tonight.
Me too.
The game summary is brought to you by Infinity, makers of innovative high-performance premium vehicles. Both starters struggle. Jeff Suppan gutted out through 6 innings. And Myers lasted only 4 and gave up 5 earned runs on 7 walks and 7 hits. Ortiz with a big 2-run double moments ago at the top of the 8th, put the Red Sox on top for the 2nd time today. And Jimmy Rollins has faced the 11-hit Philadelphia attack. Game summary brought to you by Infinity. Changes for the Red Sox, and as usual, the Rim Dog predicted this right on the money. Damian Jackson stays in the game in left field. He came in as a pitcher. Lou Maloney is the second baseman, and Kevin Millar has moved from left field to first base. Meanwhile, Mike Timlin in position for a win here in the bottom of the 8th. Pinch hitter Ricky Leday batting for Cormier. And Timlin starts him with a fastball in the inside corner. Leday hitting .247, 12 homers, 40 runs batted in. He is 8 for 38 as a pinch hitter, including 1 pinch hit home run. And he hits that one a long way to center. Damon looking it up. It's a tie game.
Should be the 10th home run allowed this season. Gets out of a bases-loaded situation by getting 3 quick outs, and then the pinch hitter here in the 8th inning, the day ties the ball game.
That wants the day to come back out. Here's Bird who takes a strike. Homers, tying the single season high for the day. He had 13 homers in the 2000 season. He played for 3 different teams, the Yankees, Cleveland, and Texas. Going to the count of Marlon Byrd, the leadoff hitter. He has singled and walked and scored twice. 1 for 3 in the ballgame. That's the first hit against Timlin, the second homer of the game for the Phillies. Suppan gave up the other one to Jimmy Rollins, who's on deck. pinch hit home run was August 5th at Colorado. 2-2 the count. A lot of the fans have left, Jerry. There were a lot more patches of empty blue seats than we saw earlier in the game. Down the third base line, just foul.
And the ones that remain, though, get very loud after the day home run. But you're right, Sean. A lot of people have left this place. And the ball game now way over 3 hours.
Fans cheering. A couple of Red Sox fans in the upper deck without shirts on parading around, and security is escorting them to the exit. The 2-2 from Timlin is high. Jimmy Rollins on deck. The payoff pitch to Marlon Byrd, not close. And as Jerry mentioned when he came in, Timlin walks very few, just the 7th walk he's allowed all year. And this one comes most innings 2 times. Now it is go-ahead run aboard with nobody out in the 8th inning for Philadelphia. We'll see how Leonard plays with Rollins coming up.
Now you would expect that he'd be bunting here. If he does, and Timlin remains in the game, you probably walk Abreu to get the lead with that. But they could go to the bullpen too because Embry is loosening up.
Rollins, a switch hitter. There's Embry. He's been throwing for a little while now. Rollins has had a big day. Singled and scored in the first, hit a 2-run homer to right in the second. Singled and scored again in the fourth. 3 for 4. He scored 3 runs, driven in 2.
Just checking the stats, John. Rollins only has 1 sacrifice bunt on the season.
Bill Miller in very close at third. Turn the bunt. That was a pretty good pitch. Barrett's want to know what was wrong with it. They also want to know if Rollins held the bat out there in a bunt attempt. Jeff Nelson said no, third base.
The pitch looked pretty good.
And he got it to Merloti in time. Bird now in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, your decision here for Grady Little, do you walk Abreu and then leave Timlin in the game to face Lieberthal, and right now go to get the left-handed Embry? Job done there by Jimmy Rollins, getting the sacrifice down and getting the potential winning run to second base.
Apparently they're going to walk Abreu. For some reason, this would concern me, Jerry, is if you get one batter closer to pitching to Tommy.
Yeah, and then it'll be Embry getting Tommy if we get to that spot. Bobby Abreu just checking his numbers. 276 hitter against lefties, 308 against righties. 276 very respectable against left-handed pitching.
Clearly, Grady Little hoping that Timlin can get the double play ball off the bat of Lieberthal, and they can avoid Tommy in this inning. Season at Veterans Stadium, 61,068 the attendance. 7-7 game, 2 men on, 1 out, 8th inning. Lieberthal single to left his last time up, 1 for 4. He grounded into a double play in the 4th. And takes a strike. He's grounded into 11 double plays now this season. The hit last time up was his first of the year against the Red Sox in 10 at-bats. He extended his hitting streak to 6 games. He has been a hot hitter. The 1-strike pitch is high. Philadelphia 7 runs on 12 hits without an error. The Red Sox 7 runs, 10 hits and 2 errors. Boston has stranded 13 base runners. Philadelphia 8. Philly has 2 more men on. Bird at second, Abreu at first. The 1-1 from Timlin to Lieberthal him up around the left shoulder. Timlin ordinarily with excellent control, starting to lose it here in the 8th.
Sean, we've talked in the middle of the inning about sometimes when you have to sit around for a long time, you don't come back to shot. That's certainly been a good for Timlin. The home run to lead off. And now hitting Lieberthal in the back to run the bases. And out comes Little.
The ball on Embry. We'll have to deal with Jim Thome. Timlin did great work in the 7th, getting him out of the bases loaded, nobody out situation. But after the long wait, the leadoff home run by the pinch hitter Leday here in the 8th. A walk, the sacrifice bunt, the intentional walk, and now a hit batsman. And the Red Sox in another bases loaded situation they need to extract themselves from in the 8th. Timlin departs in favor of Embry in a 7-7 game.
The largest
Going crazy at Barry Stadium as Jim Thome gets ready to step into the bases loaded and 1 out in a 7-7 game in the bottom of the 8th against the new Red Sox pitcher, the 4th of the day for Boston, Alan Embry. He'll work from the stretch with the bases full of Phillies. Thome a big swing and a foul in the upper deck on the left.
In the head-to-head matchups, Embry and Thome. Thome is 0 for 6 on that one, Embry. 58th appearance on the season. 41 strikeouts, 41 hits, and 51 innings.
Infield back, middle of the third baseman, way off the line. Garcia Parra playing very close to the second base bag. There's the runner at third. Abreu at second. Lieberthal at first. Embry trying to pick up Mike Timlin. Line in a center hit. Two-run score. The Phillies win 9-7. Tony did a lot of damage to the Red Sox back in mid-June. You talk about the intentional walk, Jerry. This was the reason I didn't like it. You just accelerate the process of getting to the Phillies hitter you most do not want to see up there if you're the Red Sox.
Well, he's the guy that you don't want to have beat you. You have no option here with the bases loaded. You have to pitch to him. Tell you what, Sean, had they been able to get Lieberthal, it wouldn't have been out of the realm of possibilities to intentionally walk Thome, even though it loads the bases. They don't have to deal with him at all. They had no other option. Once he got hit, bases loaded, they've got to throw to him, and Thome comes up big. Double switch, it looks like, coming up right now.
Young Kim will be the... Two-run single to put the Phillies back on top, 9-7. He's at first. Lieberthal at third. Still just 1 out here in the 8th, and Byung-Hyun Kim on to pitch to Pat Burrell. And straight 1 is over on the outside part of the plate at the knee.
Buying an SUV?
38th appearance for Kim. He also worked in the game yesterday, a third of an inning against the Yankees.
Once again, it's hard right now to find anybody pitching well out of the bullpen. But Kim got what he was hoping for, a good football, and they turn it 6-4-3. It ends the inning, but the Phillies get 3 runs to bring home the lead after 8. 9-7 Philadelphia. Well, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, more than 2,700 non-stop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. By Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. And by General Motors. Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy back at the vet in Philadelphia. 4 lead changes in the game. And the Phillies now lead. Thanks in part to Ricky Leday at a pinch hit homer and stays in the game in left field. And the new pitcher is their closer, Jose Mesa.
24 saves on the season for Mesa. High batting average against him, 283. 42 strikeouts in the 54 innings for Mesa.
His first pitch is struck to Doug Mirabelli. Mirabelli came in with Kim as part of a double switch. So Mirabelli leads off and Kim hits the number 8 spot. He'd be the 9th batter of the inning. Red Sox hope it gets to that point. 1-1 on Mirabelli, hitting .264, 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. The top of the order, Damon and Damian Jackson duo. Garciaparra hit 4th, Merlone 5th.
Now, the only 2 guys that I'm aware of left on the bench, Bill Hasselman, who was just activated today, and of course Ramirez, who we're not sure about his availability.
And a lot of maneuvering so far without Ramirez entering the game. 2-1 pitch, rather than master. The pitcher of Overfall off the bat of Mirabelli, 2-2.
Mesa with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled right back off the mask to Overfall. Long afternoon behind home plate for him.
2-2 pitch, flipped out of play. In the second level. Mesa went through a little bit of a slump. There was talk that he might come out of the closer role, but during that time, they didn't have many save situations. Ball 4. A leadoff walk. Red Sox appeared to catch a break on the previous pitch to Mirabelli, and let's see if they can capitalize now. They will get the tying run to the plate. 12 walks today from Phillies pitchers, and they've hit a batter. Damon has drawn 3 of the walks. Andy is single. 1 for 2, a 2-run scored, and a stolen base. Tired of a pop-up to the shortstop in the 7th inning. Strike 1 right down the middle.
Other than the 3 outs with the bases loaded for Timlin, has anybody pitched well in this game tonight?
No. Mike Williams pitched an inning in the 3rd for Philadelphia. Did not allow a hit. He did walk 1. It's hard to find any pitching stars here today. Cormier in position for the win now, even though he gave up 2 runs last inning. He pitched 2 innings and allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Walked 1 and hit a batter, struck out 1. Ian Timlin, the pitcher's a record. Mesa trying to save it. Cormier. Line soft into the shortstop Rollins. One out in the ninth.
Now this typewriter telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Here's Damian Jackson. He came in as a pinch runner for David McCarty after McCarty for a leadoff walk last inning. Jackson came around to score. Big swing and a miss for Damian, hitting .246, a homer and 8 runs batted in. Second, down 9-7, and Nomar Garciaparra will come up. And has the go-ahead run at the plate. And Joe Kerrigan is out to the mound.
Pretty good adjustment there by Damian Jackson. That first pitch from Mesa, he really pulled off big time, looking like he was trying to pull the ball. That time he just goes to the opposite field with the fastball to pick up the base hit. Much better job of keeping his shoulder on the ball that time.
We talked about last inning when they made a decision to have Maloney run for Ortiz. So for the little bit of speed you gain, perhaps with Maloney running, you run the risk of not having Ortiz able to bat when you might really need him. Ortiz would have been on deck. Instead, now it's Maloney.
And we'll also see if Ramirez is available, too.
Nomar, an infield hit in 5 trips. He scored last inning on the double pitch in the dirt, and now the tying run will get in the scoring position. As the ball went through Lieberthal and rolled over the Red Sox on deck circle. That's a wild pitch charged to Mesa.
And with the wild pitch, a base hit probably ties this ball game up again.
And now for the Phillies, how do you approach Garciaparra? First base open, Maloney on deck. Unusual, obviously, to put the go-ahead run on. You would think they would rather take their chances with Maloney than Garciaparra.
The only problem with that, Sean, Mace's having a tough time throwing strikes. He's on the wall, get a couple of runs.
Certainly it affords him the opportunity now to pitch very carefully to Garciaparra. They're just going to go ahead and walk him. And with the go-ahead run on. And apparently it will be Maloney to bat. Certainly lead to the conclusion that either Ramirez is not available today, or if he is able to play, Grady Little just has no intention of playing today.
If he's available, he'd certainly be up there right now.
When you go back to last inning, Maloney ran for Ortiz when Ortiz was at third base and nobody else. Maloney is in the spot Ortiz ordinarily would be hitting him. Yes. Lou can deliver a big hit here. Just back from San Diego. Ball run high. You take a strike in this situation and throw the other way, may not be a bad idea. He missed a target by a mile, Mesa.
Yeah, you see Lieberthal set up away, and it comes to the inside corner, but with the umpire between the hitter and the catcher, that he gets a good look at that pitch and does call it a strike.
Big call. One of the hands, and Maloney follows it back. Kevin Millar is on deck. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. 9-7 Philadelphia with one out of the top of the ninth. Pitcher of the ball game for Philadelphia. The Red Sox have used 5. The 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Really a pretty decent pitch to hit. Fastball over the heart of the plate. Backup player in San Diego for the most part. 65 games, 272 for the Padres. Enjoyed his experience there. I think San Diego has the makings of a pretty good team in the not too distant future. And Lieberthal sets up away. The pitch is in the dirt. Breaking ball from Mesa. The 2-2. Knocks slowly down the third base line. Perez can't make the play there. Jackson slips right in front and scores back. And here goes Stars. It's 9-8. Just a little tapper by Maloney. Perfectly placed, and Perez is on a terrific day at third. Couldn't make the barehanded play. Wow.
Well, he was going to come home with this too, I believe, Sean, if he made the barehanded play. He probably would have been able to get the out at home. Mesa's gone. He's out of his ball game. There it is again. Tries the barehand. Can't come up with it. The Red Sox get the run. Now within 1.
Mesa buried yesterday as he goes on. Pitcher of the game for Philadelphia in to face Kevin Millar with the bases loaded. Red Sox down 9-8 in the top of the ninth in a wild Labor Day ball game here in Philadelphia. Millar today has 1 hit, an RBI single in the third. He's also walked. Ball 2. No place to put Millar for the veteran Wendell.
He actually has more walks than strikeouts. 25 walks and 22 strikeouts in 55 innings.
Millar pops it up. This will be close. Tony over near the turf and can't get it. Jackson was tagging. The event that Tony should catch that ball and not be able to stay on his feet. Damon might have tried to score on the pop-up.
Yeah, you don't know how this is going to turn out, obviously, for the Phillies, but maybe by not being able to catch that ball would be a break for him, because I think Jackson would have scored on that.
Here's the tying run at third. Garcia Parr at second, Maloney at first. 1 run into the ninth for Boston. A pitch inside. 3-1. Millar, .415 career hitter with the bases loaded in 3 grand slams. He'll be followed by Trot Nixon. 3-1 pitch. Right.
How about that? He goes to the slider on a 3-1 count with the bases loaded. That's the last thing Millar's looking for there. Couldn't throw a fastball for strikes, so he goes to the breaking ball.
Yeah, a good one from the Western Nader throws another way. Millar pops it up again. Wendell born in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Graduate of Waukegan Regional. There were 3 no-hitters during his senior year in high school there. Went on to Quinnipiac College in Connecticut for 3 years. And has bounced around the majors with the Cubs and the Mets and the Phillies. Did not pitch at all last year with elbow trouble. Now in a big spot here. 3-2 pitch way outside. Ball 4. It's a tie game. And a fitting way to tie it. As the walks just keep on coming. The 13th walk issued by a Philadelphia pitcher today.
Well, you've seen better pitching in the Little League World Series than you've seen here today at the bench. A slider again on the 3-2 count. This time not even close. Walks in the tying run. This inning started with a walk. Nixon walking Mirabelli. And it's a walk to bring the tying run.
A 9-9 game, 13 unintentional walks and 1 intentional walk for a total of 14 issued by Philadelphia pitchers. And now it's Trot Nixon. And a chance to put the Red Sox back on top. Bases remain loaded with 1 out. Garcia Parra now the runner at third. Maloney at second, Millar at first. Infield in. Nixon hit one high and deep to right. A grand slam for Trot Nixon. His 7th career grand slam. And the Red Sox lead 13-9. Nixon right now has 6 runs batted in this ball game. A double back in the 3rd, a single in the 4th, and now the big one. The grand slam home run to give the Red Sox a comfortable 13-9 lead. Oh my God! I can't believe it. Well, it's hard to fathom. This has been an amazing game. 5 lead changes. And the Red Sox now have their largest lead. Bill Miller after the first one. He drives one foul and left.
And you talk about a total team effort. I mean, just about everybody's been in this game today for the Red Sox.
With the notable exception of Manny Ramirez, who was in the dugout earlier, is nowhere to be seen now. Miller fouls one back. It all started with a walk to Mirabelli. And Damon lined to short. Jackson single to right. Garcia Parra was intentionally walked. Maloney, that infield hit on the number down the line. In came Wendell. He walked Millar and then gave up a grand slam to Trot Nixon. Trot has been on base 5 times today. As Jerry said, has 6 runs batted in. Second grand slam of the year for Nixon. Red Sox 5th as a team.
Remember last time up, Nixon got hit in the hand, stayed in the ball game, and in his next at bat, the grand slam home run.
That was last inning. Cormier hit him on the hand. 2-2 to Miller. Hit on the ground, right through the legs to the third baseman Perez. Now that's an error on Perez. And it stays this way, Jerry. What a devastating loss this will be for Philadelphia.
Can you imagine, Sean, Larry Bowa in that Philly clubhouse if they lose this ball game?
Young Gun Kim go back for himself. I mentioned on the last road trip, they started out 1-9, and Thursday, Bowa threw a major temper tantrum that led to other controversy here. As Tyler Houston shortly thereafter was let go by the Phillies. He'd been a very good pinch hitter for them, the best pinch hitter in the National League, as a matter of fact. Him showing fun takes the ball. According to a story today in the Philadelphia papers, Houston says that the players got together on the bus after the tirade in Montreal and decided that they would band together in spite of the manager, brought together by their mutual disdain for the manager, and would do everything they could to publicly let people know that they didn't like the manager while trying to win games. And the very next night when Pat Burrell hit a home run, apparently Ball was at the top step of the dugout at the corner clapping to shake his hands, and Burrell ran right by him toward the middle of the dugout to be congratulated by his teammates. Some of the coaches noticed that, figured something was up, did a little sniffing around, and I guess they fingered Houston as the man who led to the problem. They let him go. And Houston was very public in saying that the players don't like Boa. Boa called Houston in the paper today a loser. He said a lot of the players were glad they got rid of him. There's a reason why Houston's on a different team every year. Well, it's not all hearts and flowers here in Philadelphia right now. A game like this won't help.
It sounds like things are a little rough right now. I'm sure the Marlins and everybody else in the wild card race are happy to hear about all that.
Kim lines at the first double play. Kim couldn't have hit it any harder, but he hit right at Tony. And they come to go on first base. The Red Sox bat around. They stay 6 to take a 13-9 lead. Bottom of the ninth from Philadelphia right after this.
Look again at Ford Explorer and you'll find a special program on the best-selling SUV on the planet with a standard V6 engine, independent rear suspension, and now, for a limited time, get a no-charge power moonroof and a no-charge third-row seat. Get Ford Explorer with 0% financing and $1,000 bonus cash, or get $2,500 cash back and $1,000 bonus cash. Plus, you'll save over $1,400 in no-charge options. Look again at your New England Ford dealer. Program ends July 9th.
You haven't looked at Ford lately. Come on and look again.
McDonald's new Chicken McNuggets are made with all-white meat and are sprinkled with seasonings created by a fine chef. We like to think of it as poulet mignon. At McDonald's. Yes, that McDonald's.
Up to 16 varieties of spring greens, sweet, juicy grape tomatoes, 4 delicious Newman's Own all-natural dressings, 3 amazing new premium salads. Only at one great place. McDonald's. Yeah, that McDonald's.
Where you're going, you'll need stuff like this. And if you expect to graduate in 4 years, you'll need this. Call now and you'll get a PC that works hard and plays hard when you upgrade to a compact Presario with Intel Pentium 4 processor plus monitor and HP color printer. For only $4.99 after rebates, you'll email photos, play games, listen to music, and, oh yeah, do schoolwork. Call today and get free shipping and compact notebooks from $6.99. When it really matters, choose compact.
I think that went really well.
I think it was great. I love the first 2 sketches. Send them off by Thursday.
I should get that silver Jaguar.
Is something telling you it's time to get a Jaguar? Presenting the Unleash a Jaguar sales event.
Lease an X-Type for $279 at your New England Jaguar retailer.
Unleash one today.
13, the lucky number for the Red Sox right now. They have 13 runs on 13 hits. They've also left 13 men on base. Trot Nixon with 6 runs batted in. His grand slam broke the 9-9 tie and put a major exclamation point on that 6-run inning. Now it's Byung-Hyun Kim pitching with a 4-run lead. Bottom third of the order coming up for the Phillies. Chase Utley leads off. Kim came in last inning and got a double play to get them out of the inning. It's a little bit bigger right now. As they avoided more damage, he came in with the Phillies with runners at the corners. And 1 out. Utley 1 for 4, a 3rd inning single off Jeff Suppan. Now Kim in position for a win. Jose Mesa, the pitcher of record for Philadelphia. They gave up 4 runs in a 1/3 of an inning. And they have closer issues themselves. to the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 3 outs away from their 4th win in a row. Instead, looking at a loss that could put a team with some internal issues right back into a tailspin. Finals in the American League. Anaheim beat Minnesota 10-2. Texas beat Kansas City 7-3. So losses to 2 of the contending teams. In the Central, Utley strikes out.
Well, you never know, Sean, what's going to turn confidence around. And obviously, the confidence of Young Kim has not been good over the last week or so. You come into the ball game, you get a double play, your teammates get you a bunch of runs, and he can finish this one out. Maybe he does get his confidence back. This has got to be the wildest game of the year.
It was a pretty wild one when the Red Sox were here in mid-June.
Yes.
A 6-5 13-inning ball game.
Yep.
Game has reached the 4-hour mark now. Perez 1 for 4. He singled and scored on a Jimmy Rollins homer in the second. The excruciating losses they've had this year. This would be a win at the opposite end of that spectrum.
And a great way to start off this trip. You know, this little annoyance of coming to Philadelphia for the one game. To walk out with a win today in this kind of a ball game would be huge for this team. And I mean team, too. I mean everybody.
Yep. And certainly the hitters picked up the pitchers again today. Here's Ricky Leday, who had a pinch hit home run off Mike Timlin, who opened the bottom of the 8th. And the homer to tie the game at 7. They got 2 more in the 8th, take a 9-7 lead, but the Red Sox got 6 in the top of the 9th. They batted around for the 2nd time in this game, did Boston. 34 times this year, the Red Sox have batted around. Borderline strike at the knees. And the Phillies down to their last strike. Sox hang on and win this one. They finished interleague play with 11 wins. In all of baseball, the Yankees with 13 had more interleague victories this year. Leday sends one toward the right field corner. That's a fair ball. Into the corner on a hop. It clangs around for a while, and it's a double for Leday.
Leday took the first 7 innings off in this game. Gets a pinch hit in the 8th. It's a home run. Gets the hit against in the 9th and gets the double. Breaking ball down in, right the wheel around for the day, and knocks it down to that right field corner. Can't have a 1-2-3 inning. No.
Phillies have had a base runner in every inning. And the Red Sox had a base runner in every inning except the 7th when Cormier got them 1-2. Top of the order, Marlon Byrd. He has scored 3 times, a single and 2 walks. They're on base 3 times and has scored every time. Kim nips the inside field. The ball and a strike on Byrd. To the right. And a lot of the fans have left now. We mentioned the largest crowd of the year was 61,000 plus. More than half that number still here. Red Sox a strike away from, without question, one of their biggest wins of the season. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. No, said Mike Victor. The umpire down at first. afternoon. Toronto 8-1. The Red Sox win would get them back to 4.5 behind the Yankees in the American League East. Out of play to the right. Seattle does not play today. The Red Sox win would move them back within 1 game of the Mariners for the American League wild card lead. Seattle begins the series at Tampa Bay tomorrow night as the Red Sox move on to Chicago. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. LeVay, the runner at second. He struck him out. And the Red Sox win 13-9. Trot Nixon, a career-high 6 runs batted in, and he provided the winning margin with his 2nd grand slam of the season. And Jerry, this was a memorable ball game.
Well, I'll tell you, Sean, I mean, it's hard to even remember what happened earlier in this ball game. The Red Sox quickly fell behind 4-0. They battled back to tie it, fall behind again in this game, and get 8 runs in the last 2 innings off the tail end of that bullpen out there for the Philadelphia Phillies. And, you know, when you look at the start of a road trip and you play a game like this and come out and win a game like this, it's got to be a huge boost.
In relief, I think, to Grady Little, he did a couple of things that could be questioned, but in the end it worked out for him. Maloney's little number of a base hit certainly helped in that regard. Here are the totals for Boston: 13 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, and 13 men left on base. Philadelphia 9 runs, 14 hits, and 1 error. The Phillies stranded 10. The Phillies walked 14 Red Sox batters in the game. Young Kim is the winning pitcher. He's now 6-4. He pitched the final inning in 2/3, and Jose Mesa blew the save and wound up taking the loss. He's 5-7. Time of the game, 4 hours and 4 minutes before 61,068. They watched Jimmy Rollins and Ricky Leday hit home runs for the Phillies, and Trot Nixon, the grand slam for the Red Sox, his 25th home run of the season. Once again, the final score: the Red Sox 13 and the Philadelphia Phillies 9. We hope you'll join us again Friday night as UPN 38 will broadcast the first game of the last regular season series between the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Game time from the Bronx, 7 o'clock. Stay tuned now for Judge Joe Brown. Now for Jerry Remy, Sean McDonough saying so long from Philadelphia. Red Sox baseball is a presentation of UPN 38 Sports.